Uh, welcome to session 71 of Adventures in Aanthara. All these numbers just sound unnaturally large now. Previously in this campaign, the Twilight Heralds, after acquiring a lead on a arcanist potentially researching interesting subjects, found their way into the contact of a mysterious woman named Natalia Breedlove to be exact, who happened to be able to acquire the location of this other woman, Alaina Meridian. And the party made a sort of deal with her to learn her whereabouts and potentially gain access. Succeeded in doing so and set up a plan to contact her and maybe have a nice dinner. That did not turn out to be the series of events that would transpire. Instead, upon arriving at her house, they were turned away, initially by being completely ignored by whoever was inside, and then by a group of thugs of some kind. One thing led to another, and they battled these thugs, killed one, interrogated another, and found a secret exit within Miss Meridian's house, which they then took downwards underground. And through a series of tunnels, excavations, the sewers themselves beneath Ilmara, and a variety of strange, mostly undead monstrosities, eventually found their way to a unusual room protected by some sort of force wall, and on the other side of this wall, the woman they were seeking, in the process of casting a teleportation spell of some kind. And the party was successful in interrupting both the force wall and her spell, but then a conversation ensued that did not go the way that anyone, I'd imagine, wanted, and eventually the party was forced to battle her once again, and she ended up taking her own life, and doing so in such a way that rendered her mouthless, which means they cannot speak to her. They did find a bag of holding on her with a whole bunch of what looks like research in it. TBD what exactly that is. But we pick up in the depths of this strange room underneath the city, immediately after this figure's death. Oh, and then Talia, the figure who had led them here, requested the small stone with a symbol on it that matched the series of symbols the party has been tracking, and upon acquiring it, after a brief conversation and confession and backstory dump, she seemed to speak to someone and then disappeared into the night, walking away without as much as a couple words. That is where we pick up. What would you all like to do and or say?
Are we rested?
You are not rested.
No, are we rested?
Oh, short
asking.
resting?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was what the party's plan was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we agreed to sit down for a few minutes.
Yeah, you had started it. Anything you in particular you guys want to do during it that you can pull off in a short rest? Okay.
I think
Short rest.
Oh,
go ahead.
I think Sam's gonna sit against one of the walls and just to keep herself busy, starts flipping through the notes that we picked up off Alaina.
Okay, you can definitely do that. Are you going for shallow and wide, or are you going to try to hone in on any particular things as you go?
Shallow and wide.
Shallow and wide. Okay. I will say roll an investigation check.
I love these. 14.
Okay. Megan, did you have something as well?
I was just gonna, in this like cavernous space, pull out the bone flute and just play this very eerie like background music and do a, what do we call it? It's not Song of Rest.
Isn't it?
No,
Isn't it?
we've rebranded it. Inspiring Performance. So everyone gets
Oh.
5 temp HP at the end of the short rest.
Oh, word.
Ooh.
Okay.
I will also do my feature, my high feature, which is during a short rest, you can tend to well-beings of those you trust. Make a DC 14 wisdom's medicine check. For each willing creature you can touch up to a maximum of 6. On a success, the creature gains a number of hit points equal to the maximum number of their hit die.
Okay. So roll those checks and roll the hit points for the ones you succeed, and then you can dole them out when you're done. Alright. You guys take some time finally resting and recovering from what was a harrowing chase full of nastiness, and for some of you, some severe lightning burns. Yeah. Sam,
Mm-hmm.
with a 14, you keep things very high level and just sort of catalog topics that are being researched. You see notes, unsurprisingly, from what your party has told you on the Elder Relics. Series of notes on their history, the various owners that they've had in the past, last sightings, beliefs on what kind of magic they held, all that kind of stuff. But you also find a good amount, what seems like a decent amount of research on necromantic animation magic. And even without diving too deep with a 14, you can assess that it is research into new forms of this process that, while typical necromancy, and you'd be familiar enough with this kind of thing given your schooling, would typically raise like a skeleton or a zombie, something that is soulless and largely mindless, has the literal skeleton, but also just like physical makeup of whatever it was, but largely is just a robot under the control of whoever raised it. It seems that what Meridian was researching is something that more fully rebuilds the thing that is being raised or recreated, so that it is more or less indistinguishable from the original, and in such a way that it regains a level of intelligence and autonomy that is not normal for necromantic magic, while still being bound in servitude to whoever raised it. I will not have you... there's maybe more you can find out in that particular field with a deeper check, but for now that's what you get at an overarching level. And then, quickly standing out, given how little they are talked about these days, you find a large amount of research on dragons. What they were like, their size, their power, their weapons, their magical abilities. You see, like, if you were reading a biology book on animals and there were anatomy and physiology type stuff, there's a bunch of that. Information on where they would have lived, some historical accounts of the Dragon War, what happened to the mightiest ones towards the end. It is a unusual amount of focus on a subject that is not often discussed in modern Aanthara. That's what you would get with a 14 on a cursory check.
I think after skimming through it a little bit more, she'll just rub her head and then just lean back against the wall and close her eyes and start to go to sleep.
I rolled a 27 on that medicine check.
Okay. And how much did you heal?
How much did I heal?
Well, no, you roll healing if you succeed.
I roll it? I thought it was you just get it to...
Oh, is it just a number?
Yeah,
Is it
I
a
feel
flat
like
number?
it depends on how many hit die you have.
Oh, it's their hit die.
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so.
What does it say exactly?
Of their hit die. Hit points equal to the maximum number of their hit
Oh,
die.
okay. One hit die. So
Uh,
if you have a D8 hit die, you get a D8 in healing.
that? I think it's that, or I also interpret it as how many hit die they have. Maximum
well,
number hit points of their hit die, which
yeah,
I'm assuming.
so yeah, of their hit die size, in other words.
Okay.
So, and in the case of Eclipse and Nas, who have two different sizes, I would say you can go with your larger hit die. So you get hit points healed equal to the max number on one of those hit die.
And I think it's like a simple bright wind goes around and it's just a simple glow to her hand and touches the worst part of the wound and closes it, and just professionally that's all she can do healing wise.
Okay.
Does it to herself because she's Louise.
An hour goes by, roughly. Quick naps can be had, and you guys are rested and recovered to some degree. What would you like to do? Actually, given that you take that short rest for an hour, about 45 minutes in, Eclipse, you hear suddenly in your head, interrogation scheduled for 9 in the morning at Dawnbreak Station. The God has authorized your presence and yours alone. Hope to see you there. You recognize the voice of Rylus.
Can I answer it? Is that one of the...
Yeah, you would know this is ascending similar to what your
Okay.
party members can do.
Understood. Is it for all of us?
The end of his second sentence, he said, your presence and yours alone. You would take that to mean you individually. But he doesn't respond again.
We're not invited. Dang.
I will say, without even asking for a roll, Eclipse, this would not be too big of a surprise to you, given
Yeah.
your understanding of the guard, how they work with investigations like this, and your conversation with the deputy, you would know they are familiar with your kind of position. They're comfortable with your kind of person. They don't know all that much about the funky casters and the rest of your group.
Yeah. No, that's valid.
What?
Questionable at best.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What?
Okay.
Just a fun feathered friend. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think anybody, if they notice, probably Brightwing, that Eclipse suddenly looks way more nervous, even with the current circumstances.
Okay. After you say those words in response to Rylus.
No, if he specified, I didn't catch the end of that. I'll probably just say acknowledge. I'll
Okay.
be there.
Okay. You guys hear an acknowledgement from Eclipse to nothing that you heard, and then Brightwing, you see a shift in her demeanor.
Are you going somewhere? Are you okay?
Apparently, I've been invited to an interrogation,
Oh.
but just me.
Oh.
This is one of the riflemen, correct?
It sounds like it. Sorry, what was the time? I think I
9
caught the place.
in the
but
morning.
9 a.m.
At Dawnbreak Station, which is Ivory Guard headquarters, you would know.
Naz, what time is it right now?
It's
It's 8:05 p.m.
night is young.
What
Yeah,
time did I
so-
cast Seeming?
Oops.
You cast Seeming before you set out to come down to the Dawn
Surely it
Burrows
hasn't been
and
8
meet
hours.
Alaina, right?
Yeah, it was up at
Yeah.
the house.
So it would have taken you 30 minutes to get to the neighborhood, and it's been less than that since then, honestly. It's really been like maybe an hour since you left your house. So you have a lot of time left still. Even though it's been like 2.5 sessions since then.
Yeah. That's fine. I just wanted to have an idea in my head in case we needed to do other things this evening.
Yeah, you would expect you have it until past midnight.
Okay.
Then should we get going?
I'd like to see if there's any other useful items that we passed. We were in pursuit rather quickly. You might
I
have
mean, we
something
might as
useful.
well. It's not like she's gonna stop us. And I'll kick the sludge on the ground.
Mm.
The head sludge.
hmm
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
Is there actually a staircase at the top end of that room?
There is, yes.
Take a look up.
Yeah, might be the way out. Better way.
Oh yeah.
There's a way out, she wouldn't have stopped there.
Are you guys heading up?
Yeah.
Is there
To
a door
investigate?
or
Okay.
what is up there?
There's not. You wouldn't have really been able to see. It's just an open archway. But who's going in or up? Up and in? You? Okay. Roll an investigation check.
Guidance.
Yeah. Oh, with a guidance.
You can do that.
Oh my god.
And while you roll that, I'm gonna go get my food. 1 second.
Okay.
17 plus 2 for
A
the
lot.
guidance. So 19 plus 11.
Sheesh! 30. Okay. You pass through this archway and like 5 feet worth of tunnel, and arrive at what looks to be a small living space. No other exit. Seems almost cobbled together. Like somebody... This room was for something else, and someone made a makeshift apartment out of it almost. It's oddly nicely furnished, given the environment that is both around you and that you've been through. There's a desk, a lamp on the desk. Nothing, even with a 30, or especially with a 30, gives you confidence that there's nothing in terms of additional belongings or recognizable traces or remnants of any particular person or people. It is, while it seems cobbled together, it is well kept, like the bed is made carefully. It's sort of odd.
It was her space. Perhaps she had everything on her that she'd kept in this area.
Wouldn't doubt it. Or it's the hideout, but wasn't gonna do much hiding with us.
Especially with that barrier on the door. That's kind of a dead giveaway once that's up.
Wonder why the crystals were on the other side though.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. What if it was a prison of some kind? A cell?
Can think on that one.
Someone that had magic abilities. If it blocked spells.
Also might be a good question for both of you, Faye and Sam. Can you tell where she was trying to go off of her circle?
Can we? I smudged a whole big part of it.
Oh, interesting question.
I have seen and like actively taken note of a few circles, but I don't know.
What circles have you seen? Have you noted them somewhere?
Well, you had me make like high DC checks to recall anything about them, and so it was for sure Hawkholm and Alea. And
Unless
I know.
Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know that spell. And
Yeah.
I would. Oh, can I flip open her book, her spell book?
Oh yeah. Look at the spell book.
You can flip open her spellbook. What are you looking for?
Well, one, anything familiar, and then
Okay.
also I have researched and like I have specifically been researching different types of teleportation magic. That's how I got to Dimension Door. So would I recognize that type of, God, is it transmutation? What is teleport?
It's conjuration.
Is it conjuration?
Teleportation circle, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we discovered. And
That's what we discovered last week.
True. You would...
But I...
Roll an Arcana. I will say roll an Arcana check, and if you can finish that, could I?
Yeah.
Can I do the same looking at the circle and just using my knowledge of faraway classes that I've took? Try to determine.
Can I give our guidance on that?
Sure, you can give a guidance to one of them before you hear the results.
Who are you giving it to? Damn. Yay! Ooh, okay.
It was a 16.
Mine was a 16 plus 8
Okay.
for 24.
Okay. So you are, Sam, inspecting the circle to see if you can make any heads or tails of recognition to where it would be headed. And Faye, you are examining her book for things that you recognize primarily, or anything to do with teleportation magic.
Yeah, if I could pin that down. I don't know
Okay.
what language these are written in. If it's jargon.
So
or if
it's
like looking at C script or something.
It's heavily runic. There are pieces and bits of common throughout, but it's also a lot of like diagrams and runes and symbols and things. You recognize the you would recognize the bits and pieces of an invisibility spell, because that's something you can cast. Beyond that, you don't recognize much. Your methods of spell casting are very different from these. And while you've done some research, it's almost like Shakespeare going through a book of Mozart music. Like, he's a brilliant artist of his own kind, but this is just a different version of artistry.
Really,
in a
it'd be
way.
the other way around because she's Mozart.
Well, true. That is very true. Mozart going through Shakespeare. Having said that, you have researched some teleportation magic, and with a 16, you would see teleportation circle components in this spellbook in a certain area of it. The particular circles she has memory of or access to are not written down here, so you don't get anything in that regard. I would also say with a 16, that's pretty good, and this is rather unsurprising, and you're largely clued into it by what you know of her. There is a lot of magic in here that is necromantic in nature. Make of that what you would, but you can't get much deeper than that, just recognition of its school, basically. Sam, with a 24... I'm trying to think if there's anything you can glean. You cannot, without knowing where it's going. Like, it doesn't say the name of the place in
Right.
or anything like that.
But can I like point out the segments of it to maybe somebody who does know what the circles are, like the segments of the teleportation rune on the ground where those implements would be, just to help others find the patterns that they know from other circles.
I guess what I would like to know, to bounce off of that, how much of a teleportation circle is part of the spell, and how much is the location? Like, what is the software and what is the GPS? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
what parts change? Is it
Yeah.
inherently different? Is the entire thing different, or is there pieces that are changed that would steer?
Or is it all
The-
mental?
The one piece that was gonna help us is the one that
Was
you
the one
swiped
that was
out.
rubbed
away.
No, it's more like the skeletal structure of it is the spell, and then the particular runes within it that list out where it's going determine where it's going. So when you're trying to memorize them, it's easy to parse out everything that is just, this is teleportation circle, and focus on these are the runes that determine where it's going. You can't get any understanding of where this is going. You would have to, and with a 24, you have enough knowledge to sort of point out the areas that would determine location, but you don't recognize anything about them that would give it further clues. And when you show them to Faye, you don't recognize them. So at the very least, you eliminate 2 places, but you don't recognize anything else.
Can I
I'll
take note
copy
of
what's
them?
present.
Yeah, about to say, like, can
I'm
we
gonna-
write
I'm
it
gonna
down? Go to
Yes,
the.
you can
runes.
do that. There is a section that is smudged away. I will say, ooh boy.
My keen detective eye. Can I
I
see
will
where
say
it was before I searched it?
one of you with advantage, or both of you separately, can roll an Arcana check to build the smudged portion back to something reasonable to what it should be.
What's your Arcana?
7.
Mine's an 8. I'll do it with advantage.
Guidance.
Guidance! Natural 18.
Brightwing just standing over everyone's shoulders, slapping guidances down.
That's a 28, Matthew.
Damn! Okay.
18 plus a 2 on the guidance die.
Okay. With a 28, both of you can note somewhere that you have the sketched copy of Alaina Meridian's teleportation circle. And with that roll, I will say that your ability to recreate it in a way that would allow you to cast and use it would require a DC 12 intelligence check.
I'll do it. With the guidance?
I'm saying
No guidance.
when it's when it's being drawn, yeah.
Oh,
So write this down somewhere.
DC 12.
You have Alaina Meridian's teleportation circle. You have it to a degree of confidence where if and when you wanted to create it or pass it to someone who would create it, they would have to make a DC 12 intelligence, straight intelligence roll to make it accurately.
Got it.
That's a low DC based off that extremely high roll.
Hell yeah.
Alright.
We're like covered in chalk. Like
Yeah.
like Urukais.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who do you serve?
Simba.
I think while you've been doing this, Brightwing's taking the extra chalk and it's just like sketching on the side because it takes a while for you guys to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Playing tic-tac-toe with Nas.
I'll also look over the spell book if there's more time left in the rest. Otherwise, I'll just look at it later.
Okay.
I definitely want to take it to a library and dig. So we
Yeah.
can tag team that at some point too. See if or
Let me
take it to
Team
an arcanist
Arcana.
and see if they can
hop over here really quick.
tell us exactly what's in there.
How's a dropout? It's fine. We don't need a professional.
You definitely see the a page from Mage Hand, which you recognize very easily and quickly. Also Shield.
Nice.
That's it.
Cool.
That you recognize. Oh, and invisibility.
Yeah.
Same.
I know clerics have crossovers with necromancy. Would Brightwing recognize anything? I know it's very different than how I do my magic, but just out of curiosity.
You're looking over their shoulder while they go through this?
Yeah.
Roll an Arcana check,
Okay.
given the fact that you never studied in this manner.
Yeah.
Sam has, so this will do a little roll of sleep for her.
15
15.
plus nothing.
Okay. You would recognize enhance ability and oh gosh. Please hold. You nothing necromantic in the way that you have necromancy spells. Yours are based on towing and affecting the line with death, but not bringing things back from across it. In fact, what I will say
Well,
with that roll,
I have raised dead.
well, yes, that I guess I should say
The intention between Raised Dead
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like,
I
the
get it. I get it. I get it.
are
What I
very...
will say with that roll is that there are bits and pieces that you pick up of like a twisting or mirroring of some of what you know about that line and bringing people back from across it. You don't like recognize what spells they are because you don't have that level of education on this kind of magical format, but you can see and recognize enough to notice that. And also hold person. You'd recognize that as well.
You start backtracking yet?
Yeah, reading in this low light is not good for the eyes. You could look at it with fresh eyes later on.
Our dancing lights is gone. God damn it.
Correct.
I'll cast light.
Thank you.
Okay. On.
Let's see.
I walk over and hold the shield out so you guys can read.
Thank you.
Oh.
True.
Handy.
I guess I meant more for travel because I have to cast it on a thing, right?
Yeah. With light, you do. Also, you have Eclipse's shield.
I'll cast it on Sam's shoes.
Okay. Bet.
Twinkle toes!
You have
if
two
we are
glowing
walking.
fingers and 10 glowing toes.
2 feet.
That way you can see the ground.
Yeah.
I think the funny thing
actually
about
really
having the rogue with shiny feet is really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the
Alright, you guys-
range on the shield for light?
I think it's 10 feet and then 5 feet after is dim.
Oh.
Let me double check. Oh, bright is 5 feet, dim is additional 10 feet. So it's not amazing, but it's
It's a
Good
good.
for
It's a
reading.
good.
It's a book light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or fighting.
Yeah. With the range that you fight at, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Indeed.
All right. That room. Are we going back? Are we starting to backtrack?
We're gonna have to. That room's a dead end.
Was I don't know how thorough of a look we want to give that amphitheater that had all that stuff up on the stage.
Yeah.
It makes sense she didn't take everything with her.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there were any like scrolls or unique components or anything in there.
And through the cells. Down the hallways.
Oh, that one room that we ran through that had like books in it, right? Did it have books? The first one that you opened with the mage hand? Or Brightwing opened with the gust.
You
Somebody
saw a
opened it.
couple doors into what looked like cells or small rooms of some kind. You didn't go in enough to investigate what was inside.
But I think you
Yeah.
said that there was like a bookshelf thing. We look.
You
Yeah.
go back
Carefully.
all right, so you make your way back out of this place, up
Mhm.
through into that strange large room with many side rooms. And you're going to investigate the whole place?
Yep.
Okay. I will say someone make an investigation check for the group.
Got an 11.
Guidance.
21.
So,
22.
okay.
With the guidance.
Oh, I meant a plus 11. I didn't know we were just... Okay.
Okay. The area up at the top or front, depending on how you look at it, that seemed almost like a stage, seems very clearly like a experimentation area that would have been used on creatures to do whatever it is that was happening here. You don't know exactly what. But given the amount of instrumentation around, the way that it's laid out, this sort of like block that seems almost like an operating table in the center, it gives a clear impression. There are chains and manacles attached to the four corners of that sort of table block. And then throughout the rest of the place, as you investigate, you find 8 small chambers that have a variety of corpses, not unlike the beasts that you fought, except that not all of them are beasts or that size of creature. There are others in here that look humanoid, and there are a variety of smaller beasts. The ones you fought were like bear-sized. This is quite a variety of smaller ones. And then there is one larger room off to the top, the northwest corner, that has a large pit that just has tons of bones in it. Seems like a almost waste dump. The whole place reeks, both literally and figuratively, of death, undeath, necromantic experimentation. And Sam, based off what you read in your cursory glance on all those notes, you get a sense that this was a place in which whoever was running this stuff, either Alaina or someone who she was bringing research to, was attempting to carry out the research that was noted in those scrolls and books you found, and finding various levels of success and failure over a course of months, probably, though everything is in such a state of decay that it's hard to tell. Nothing here in the way of scrolls, potions, or anything like that. And there are areas, I will say, with that investigation check and with Faye, what you have found and are looking for specifically, areas up near the operating area or section, experimentation stage, if you'll call it, where it seemed like there were notes and that were hastily gathered.
I think, as you know, Brightwing already has like a sorrowful face over each shell, but as like just seeing the pit of absolute filled with how many lives down there, she's just sunk to her knees and just looks on, and which I think is a very similar scene as the one when we approached the hag. Whereas that one was just a defiant of the life around her, this is just a showmanship of how many like creatures and humanoids that have lives were taken.
Anything else you guys want to do here before leaving?
I think Brightwing will pray. And they, please help them find the rest they deserve. That they can finally really find peace in it. And I think she'll just fire off a simple sacred flame into the pit to start a very small burning, but one that she hopes will grow over time and release.
Roll a wisdom check with advantage.
Very glad that was at advantage. 21. 21.
You drop a sacred flame into this pit after saying this prayer, and there is a... You have seen your sacred flame land on creatures all the time, and there is this, like, burn of flame, divine flame, that then disappears. This seems to catch and spread and change color, and there is this... It almost looks like there's this small battle between shadow and light that begins to roil in this pit as it burns and continues to burn slowly.
She silently thanks the wilds and turns and leaves. Leaving this vile place behind.
All right, you guys all head out? Okay. I will have somebody make a survival check to guide your path back through the sewers. Okay. Go for it.
Guidance.
Can I do it myself?
No, this is an ongoing thing that lasts more than a minute, so...
Dang it. Well, there it is again. So I don't have advantage. Natural 1.
Okay.
Plus 9, so 10.
Okay, well that helps a lot. Natural 1 would have had you guys lost down here for a long time without a big bonus. Okay, a 10, it's not immediate. There are a couple times where you guys get lost. Everybody starts to get a little frustrated with the stink and the exhaustion from the last hour plus. But eventually, you guys find that what was an exit, now an entrance into tunnels. Make your way back up past that cavern where you fought the corpse walkers, past the formerly active symbol that tried to blow you all up, well, did kind of blow you all up, and back to the stairwell, eventually up into Alaina Meridian's house, where, to your knowledge, there is dead body and 2 bound unconscious prisoners.
How are the unconscious ones looking?
You guys make your way up and in, and both of them are... I'm assuming you bound and gagged them before leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Both of them are awake and have seemed to resign themselves to the situation, but upon seeing and hearing and seeing you return, glare at you.
I'll mind link with one of them.
Okay. Which one?
Whatever one looks more or less angry, I guess. I guess they're both pretty angry right now, but...
The Hry Kell that you interrogated has additional reason to dislike all of you after that interrogation. The Air Genasi assassin that you didn't speak to knows that you all had a fight and that she was knocked out, but there hasn't been any interaction between you all.
Don't mind link with her.
Okay.
Want to tell us anything about why you're here?
She slightly rolls to his shoulder, looks at you, still gagged, and thinks back, or you hear in your head.
Doesn't know who the fuck you are, but you will pay.
You will pay. Pay more than you will. When Silvereye talks to you again.
Roll an intimidation check.
With advantage because it's spiky mind stuff. She's hearing a lot of fuzz too. Remember, my mind link is kind of bad.
Sure. Yes, I do know that. Well, I'll say with advantage. Largely, or at least as much because of the use of that name as for the mind crap.
Oopsies. One of them's a natural 1, the other one's a natural 4.
Oh gosh.
+3, so 7.
Okay. Man, you guys aren't having luck with these.
I can investigate anything, but talking to people's where I draw the line.
You see her eyes narrow, and she thinks nothing back at you. And rolls back to her back.
I'll leave the mind link on so she has something to listen to.
Sure.
Someone will find them eventually. We'll take them with us or leave them here.
Look back at them. Their boss will show up. Sometime. Unless they speak, they can go early.
They continue. Actually, they don't even look at you.
Wonderful. We should probably get out of here if we want to talk anything.
Yeah. I poke my head out and see what the area is like outside. I'll peek through the window.
It is past sunset, so dark. There are lights on in windows, flickering lamp flame, but nobody milling about, nobody seemingly concerned, no guard presence that you can see.
I think the coast is clear. Let's get out of here.
You guys go to leave?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you leave, Sam, you hear in your mind,
We will find you. We know what you look like.
So many people are already, though. Will you be quick enough is the real question.
Ruby.
And I'll walk out the door and end the mind link.
okay. Okay.
Man, Seeming is so busted. It's so great. I love it so much.
All right. And you guys leave the house and head where? It is probably getting close to 9 now after the sewer
would-
sidetrack.
Maybe like a meandering path back home,
Okay.
and at some point,
Yeah, we
Like-
should probably drop it, like,
yeah, drop it. Like if we can get to the point where we're between a building or somewhere nondescript.
Okay.
Can you leave mine up though?
Oh shit!
Can you?
no, I think it
don't-
drops for everybody.
I think I can cast it on myself, but it's not as good, and somebody's gonna see through it. And I can only do it for another hour.
We'll
It
get back
lasts
to the
for
house in
duration
an hour.
Unless you use your action to dismiss it sooner. It speaks of it as a singular spell, so I would say you can't make it drop on one and not the rest. And you
We
can't
can
reshuffle
fuck around and
how it
find
works.
out.
Well,
It's fine. I can
think
cast it on myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
as
heard
well as
this guy is self, but that is self and not friend.
I can sell.
Yeah.
That's good. We're good.
Okay, so you guys are going to meander in such a way so as to send people looking for these people on a different track, and then find a secluded place to swap into yourselves. Sam, you'll go back to being Sandy, I assume?
I will go back to being Sandy.
Okay. Oh, I dropped everybody's code names for the first part of this session, too. Oh, well.
Ah.
Continuity.
Yeah. Okay. I will say roll, let's just roll a group stealth check for both the misleading track away and the swap.
Has it been an hour since the fight?
Yes, it has been an hour.
You still get a +5, baby. Added up the +5 to your thing.
Oh,
You're reusing that, you're saying?
It lasts
It's
for an
been more
hour.
than an hour. It's been
Oh,
more than an hour, I'm
It's
saying.
been more. Never
Okay,
mind.
this is the second time we've had this problem. If you ask me if it's been an hour and I say yes, I mean the hour is up.
I totally disagree with what you were saying.
Okay, well, we'll have to be more clear. It has been more
Yes.
than an hour. Yeah, by
14
a
on
good
the
amount.
stealth.
26.
Damn, that's terrible for you.
I rolled a 3, Matt.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
Ooh, everyone was higher than me.
What'd you say, Nas?
21.
And Eclipse, did you also say 21?
13.
Oh, okay, 13. And Faye?
26.
Okay, damn. Okay. Okay. Given that you are heading this up, that makes a difference, particularly in the swap part. So you guys take a bit of a meandering path. Not drawing all that much attention. You are a pretty nondescript group right now, on purpose. And then find a alley that seems deserted and swap into the Twilight Heralds plus Sandy. And make your way back home. Okay.
Could we like put it in a
Travel.
way where like from when we're going so it doesn't look obvious that like we run into an alley, switch, and then we're all one group comes in, one group comes out. Should it be like
Oh, leaving like 1 and then 2 and then
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or
you
three-
can do that.
2
The,
and
the
3.
dropping doesn't have a range. You just drop it. So as you guys are scattered a bit and come out in different times, that's doable.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And you guys take the Skyless up and make your way back towards the Rosewood Estate. Not intending to be stealthy here, just looking like the heralds coming back from dinner, I assume.
Yeah, curious question.
Yes.
How far away is the Rosewood Estate from the Rourke's Estate? Are they like in the same neighborhood?
Ooh.
In the same part of town,
Um,
even?
Interesting question. They're in the same district. They're both in the Horizon district. The Rosewoods is much more in the wealthy families neighborhood kind of area, and the Rourke Estate is much closer to the Crescent House, which is and the Cathian High Courts as well, which are the political hub of Ilmara and Kathos for that matter, and are kind of more northeast in the district than the Rosewood Estate is. So within the same district, so within walking distance pretty easily, but not the same neighborhood by any means.
Got it. And where's the
And you would not
station
pass
from here?
it to get to the Rosewoods either,
Got
because you
it.
come from the southwest. So
Yeah.
what was the question?
The station in relation to.
The Ivory Guard.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Dawn Burrows, so that's where you were.
Oh. Got it.
Yeah, you could, if you wanted to, pass by it in your meandering.
I would love to pass by it just to see.
Okay, is everybody okay with this?
I mean, she could have gone off her own in our group.
Oh, if that was in the Dawn Burrows, we could have even done it with the seeming still up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's
Right.
true.
That's
Yeah.
what I would assume you would do.
Okay.
Do it with the
yeah.
seeming, so they don't see anybody else.
Okay, and what's your goal or intent?
I'm just looking, seeing who's on duty, if there's anything going on.
Okay.
If I don't know, the chief is in his office.
Okay. Well, are you gonna attempt to go in?
I'm not gonna walk in. But
Okay.
Based on the
alright.
behavior, they tend to act more on their shit when the boss is in office.
If he's the Lord Captain, though, would his office be here, or would it be?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the Ilmara guard. I know about the Olea guard.
Not. Okay. During your seeming, slight rewind, you guys make a pass of Dawnbreak Station, which is somewhat helpful to Eclipse since you'll need to come back down this way tomorrow. Eventually reach the street that it's on, see a large fortress-like structure, thick reinforced pale stone walls with veins of ivory and gold running through them. There is a pair of strong gold gates at the front that are flanked by particularly well-armored guards that open into a courtyard beyond, and then a second pair of doors that's on the inner building where it looks to be the offices and potentially somewhere down there a prison might be. No bustle. It is decently late at night. Some lantern light coming through windows that you see in the main building from the outside, but obviously can't make out much detail from out here. Beyond that, it seems like the functioning, well-defended, and oiled center of the Ivory Guard here. No one of any familiar appearance to any of you either. Anything else you want to do while you're there? Okay. You guys make your way back, up the sky lifts, and finally home to the Rosewood Estate. Upon arriving, Carlina meets you at the door, Faye.
There is a guest who came seeking an audience. I have them in the waiting room,
What is the name?
the foyer. She said her name was Isabella, I believe. It was a business matter. I didn't inquire much further. Hope that's all right.
That's fine. Thank you, Carlina. What the fuck is Isabella, Matt?
Roll a history check.
How long ago was this? If anyone knows. Ooh. 17 plus...
Was that not someone you talked to at the party?
Oh! Yeah. 22 was the history, but that sounds right.
22.
Oh,
You've
Isolde was the one from the party.
You've probably known an Isabella or two in the course of your very people-meeting life. So it could be a couple of acquaintances you've met in your life named Isabella, but there was not anyone at the party of import that had that name, and it doesn't stand out to you that you wouldn't expect that any of the Isabellas in your past would pop up in your home seeking an audience.
Okay. I will go say hello, I guess. Wait, I'm gonna like sprint to my room and get changed into clothes that don't smell like literal death.
Yeah, you do. You look a bit of a mess right now.
With something that doesn't smell like death, and then sprint back.
Okay. Any comment to the rest of your group what's happening, or you're just doing your thing and letting them?
Well, I thought Carlina was there when they...
Yeah, she says this to you when everybody gets home, basically.
I don't know who this is. It's not uncommon for people to just pop by, but maybe would someone mind being within shouting distance? In case this is weird.
Sure. I can, keep a keen eye. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. No. I'll
Yep.
go.
Get cleaned up a little bit. Okay, make your way back to the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brightwing with everybody else heading off to the showers, more or less. Okay. You two eventually enter this small room where guests often wait to meet and see a lightly blue-tinged skin, what looks to be Genasi woman. Pretty tall, close to 6 feet. Thin and spindly with angular facial features, platinum blonde hair in a long, loose ponytail, and light gray eyes. Wearing simply designed but clearly high-quality dress of aqua and light browns, patterned at the edges with swirls and spirals, and has tucked under one arm what looks like notebook almost, and then a small pencil in the other that's just sort of like crossed in her lap, legs crossed beneath. And when you enter,
pleasure to meet you. My name is Isabella Marquez. I wonder if I might have a bit of your time.
Marquez.
Yes, my father. You are familiar with him, I imagine.
Yes. Lovely to meet you. You may call me Faye.
Familiar. And you are?
I am Brightwing.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance as well.
She met your father at the gala, the same place that I met him as well.
He may have mentioned you actually.
looked at you briefly, Brightwing.
From the forest, I believe.
Yes.
Lovely. He sent me here on pretense of perhaps gaining an audience to converse with all of you.
Is he all right? The events of that evening were unsettling for everyone. I did eventually make my way over to where he had been during the event, and his power is well known. I didn't really fear for his safety, but more of reassurance.
It was a harrowing experience. I imagine it was for all involved.
Oh, just the drag car.
But he is all right.
Right there. Don't.
That's actually a bit of what we wanted to speak to you all about. It was a strange event, but he is, as I think much of the city, perhaps at this point, heard of your work there. I'd like to have a greater discussion.
Can I see what her level of investment is? Can I get a vibe check?
Inside check, please.
A level of investment as in...
Like, was she given a post-it note saying go ask this girl that I met at a party for a meeting with me, or does it seem like she has some like inclination as to what
Skin
the
in the
behind
game.
is? Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Make an insight check specifically for that. Brightwing, what are you looking for?
If this is, I guess along the same lines, but I guess more specifically, like, is this an intent to, like, when she says, I guess what I'm trying to figure out, like, does she know more about our involvement in other things, or just the involvement of that night?
Other things meaning the exploits of the Twilight Heralds at large?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, roll an insight check.
Pretty good. 25.
25. And Faye?
A 21.
Damn, 20. Okay. Brightwing. There is I would say an undertone of curiosity and recognition when she talks about you and your event and the events. That you would probably translate to she knows something of what you all have done. And is interested in it. Faye, you get pretty much of that same thing, and it plays into the understanding that you have that she seems personally interested. I would say with a 21, in a way that gives you the impression that she maybe has like a working relationship with her father, such that like maybe, you know, she's his assistant or helps in his, you know, political dealings, whatever it may be. There's like almost like if you were talking to like the aide of a politician or something like that.
Someone who's in the room sometimes, like often enough to
Yes.
have an idea of what's going on.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's his daughter, or as what?
And yes, and is tied into the significance of whatever they're doing, rather than like she was given a post-it and just said
Right.
with no knowledge or
Okay.
care of what's going on.
I would absolutely be willing to raise this question to my friends. We make decisions like this together.
Of course.
Is there a way that we could contact you? Or would you like to try back in a few days? I'd prefer to send word. I don't want to keep you waiting.
We could reach out magically, if that is the easiest thing to do.
Would you consent to me contacting you magically?
Oh, yes, that would work as well, and
Okay.
if you can do that, I imagine you can do it with him also.
Well, we've only met the one time, and I had considered messaging him after the events. Sending to him, I guess, but I didn't feel like it's quite a jump. You see in just someone that he met at a party to be suddenly inquiring after their well-being.
Indeed, I understand. I do not think you would mind that if you wish to reach out.
Okay.
The timeline is rather important to him. I don't know how quickly you can discuss with your group and get back, but if it could be done tomorrow.
The
perhaps
meeting?
The day after. Yes.
We have...
Something in the morning, but following we are free.
Well, we've got... We're helping a friend as well, and we want to make sure that she is prioritized.
True, yes.
So, depending on the timeline of that, I want to make sure that our personal affairs are in order before we start something else. But I promise I will let you know. If not tomorrow, then the day after.
All right, very understood. Let us know. We may need to. Well, he's a very busy man, as I'm sure you can imagine. So,
Of course.
the sooner the better. But of course, your priorities are important. Thank you.
It was lovely to meet you.
Before you go, a simple curiosity. I am new, but I have not seen an interaction where one's own child is handling the affairs of their parent in a manner such as this.
Oh,
Is this a normal
I'm,
thing?
well, I don't know how common it is in the world at large that. Well, it happens. Some people take over the work of their parents when their parents are
Emily's
gone,
done that
but,
right way.
Say that one time, you cut out.
Oh,
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, you're back. Say it again.
I said that's like what my family did.
Oh, that's true. I don't know.
he is obviously does very important work, and I am happy to assist him in it.
Nice.
Thank you again for your hospitality. I will take my leave and hope to hear from you soon.
Of course.
Stands up, jots down briefly, has kind of been noting briefly throughout, but makes a last note, closes the notebook, and gives a slight head bow and walks out.
That was not what I expected.
Me either, but what I'm curious about is if she is also glamoured. He's notorious for traveling in public under a glamour. And so does she also glamoured, and does she match his? Or is that her true form and was that his true form? Because they did look similar.
That is true. Matt, I guess this would be more a Faye question, but because now that we have all used such a high level disguise spell that and know the circumference of it and know that it was such a spell, could we do the same thing and like kind of reverse back, and was her form real? With knowing the, at least this, I guess this is more Faye than me because I didn't cast it.
Well, so you're...
Because from what I understand, if it's an illusion, you can see through the illusion. If
The
you
second
know
I
it's
saw
an
her, the
illusion.
wheels started turning of, is this
Yes,
also an
so this-
illusion? You know?
Correct. So what I will say is, Faye, because you would have been thinking this the moment you saw her, I will say that you can make a check. 1 second. Make an investigation check.
Uh, 23.
23. You do not pick up or sense any disguise on her. Which you would note is somewhat curious because she does look like the form that he has appeared most often in, and your operating assumption was that that was not his true form.
Right. Well, there's a
So,
lot of reasons.
a
There's-
curiosity.
Was there?
I could rabbit hole as to why, genetics and things like that would happen,
Yeah. It's crazy at his daughter, especially when he could be yours. Your father.
but unlikely.
Like, just saying. Theories. I guess we go tell the others.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going
Uh,
to pull people out of their rooms if they're destenching themselves.
Yeah, everybody gets a chance for a nice bath. And then if you don't want to go straight to bed, you can regather and discuss.
Scrubbing the 60 hours of airport travel off of me.
True! You had airport, ship, and
sewers.
Yeah, sewers. It is not a good smell for you.
I'm gonna get bread and cheese and some sliced meats and some fruit and picnic somewhere convenient, because we also haven't eaten anything for a while because we never got to go to dinner.
Yeah.
True. All right, charcuterie board acquired, easily done.
I regather once my 45-minute shower's over.
Mm-hmm.
Is everyone getting together?
Anybody not? All right, everybody is.
We had a unique visitor with a proposition. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I didn't realize it was going to be such a group event. I kind of assumed it was a family thing. Otherwise I would have invited everyone in. I realized a little late, and I'm sorry. That was the daughter of the Drycar of Illusion, inviting us for a meeting. With him, not with her. That was a meeting with her.
There's just a lot of meetings lately.
And apparently we made quite the impression at the party. But from what I could gather from just her few words in her demeanor, it seems she is curious about our abilities and more than just what transpired a few nights ago.
I think maybe we've piqued his curiosity, if nothing else.
I don't know if that's actually a good thing, though, considering there's a 1 in 7 chance that he is piqued for the wrong reason.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'll take those odds, I guess.
Isn't there a saying? And she looks through her notes. Keep your allies close and people you don't like closer? No, I got that wrong. Enemies closer, I assume. Okay.
Yeah, they're just
Therein
like
lies
they
the
can.
question, is it a friend or an enemy?
How
It
close
says
does
nothing
he want
about
the humans?
strangers.
I mean, the cat's out of the bag about us just having been casual partygoers. And we wore our real faces there.
Well,
Well, my concern is the time frame with which they wanted a meeting. They requested ideally tomorrow or the day after. And we've got Eclipse has her meeting in the morning. And I want to make sure that we
Sam,
want to.
I can find your children. Well, not in the sense of where their exact location is, but see where they are.
You can do that?
And she throws her bags. She pulls out a crystal that looks just like a rough cut of rock on one side, but as she turns it over, you see that it's clear, and then it catches the light. It has this prismatic rainbow effect. Very beautiful. This And the guidance of the wilds, I'll be able to see if they are okay. And actually see them, not just talk.
And you can do this today?
I
Or are
don't
you
have.
little-
I was trying to save my high level spells because I wanted to surprise you. But unfortunately, it was. I have to wait for tomorrow. I am sorry.
It's okay. We have time during the meeting. We have all morning.
I think before the meeting, before the dry car, before everything else, Sam, I think we need to get on the same page again. I'm sure you have questions.
No.
So,
No questions. We're done.
no questions.
Hey!
No. The family dog's
Good.
getting a little riley.
There are two, actually. They're probably both here trying to eat the charcuterie meat off the plate.
So, obviously, he's in town. He's here.
And I will say, Faye, as one that talked to him personally, Faye. Sorry. Brain. Sam.
I don't look like Summer now, it's fine.
As a, it is concerning that he did not want to reveal his relations to his parents, at least to me. I know we are strangers in that, but he did not show concern for their well-being after a mass attack at the party they were at. They were not seen afterwards. And he only revealed his first name and not his last when I asked who he was. From someone that would not know these answers would not be suspicious, but from someone that does know, it does not put him in the best light. Though the light he was in, I must say, was not very good to begin with.
But was he interacting with them throughout the night?
Yes. He even had a private conversation that I overheard. When, I'm still not entirely sure what happened, but to be honest, but they somehow believed that you were there because they heard your voice. Which I'm assuming is someone's ability. But they quickly got together and spoke of the concern, and that he said he would take care of it.
So they thought I was in town several days ago.
It was in the middle of a party that he claimed to have heard your voice. They could see very clearly that you were not. I think the suspicion was perhaps that someone who knew of your connection to him was nearby.
And they'll assume that that connection relayed to me, so now I know where they are. At least where Reed is.
I mean, it's not like he can just leave the town. He's the High Captain of the Ivory God of the city. Where's he gonna go?
He can't leave town, but he has so many people working for him that could have... If they really wanted to keep the kids away from me that bad, they could have moved them out. Taken them somewhere else out of my reach.
I don't know that they're here. Currently.
Well, I guess that is the other offer. I can't do both on the same day, but I can either see them for their well-being, or I could ask the wilds if they are here in the city. But I can't do both.
You know, him and his parents were here, and that your voice was enough to cause these three individuals that were potentially trying to avoid each other to suddenly have a emergency conversation in a corner. So of course it means you're a concern.
I just don't know why they're doing this. DM, have I recalled in the past any other time Reed has deflected from his heritage? That he's
Keeping
not
his
mentioned it.
surname under wraps, you mean? That comment?
Yeah. Like, if we were out together or like anything like that where he just keeps that away and for whatever reason.
Roll a history check.
History. Dice! Come on. $13.
With a 13, there were probably a couple times, especially in the transition from when you guys were first getting to know each other to when you got really serious. That he didn't necessarily like purposefully obfuscate the fact that he was a Rourke, but maybe didn't go out of his way to let people know when you guys were seen together in places or in interactions with people to which there could be any question of propriety or anything like that, given his involvement with you circling back. Again, not that he like would intentionally not say his last name when someone asked for it, but just that he probably wasn't super gung-ho about volunteering that he was a Rourke in those kinds of situations. Whereas, you know, if you guys were talking with the guard or important political figures or anything like that, if you were at a fancy party that his parents were at, it would have been a much more like Rourke forward, even flaunting it to a degree sometimes. Whether that has any bearing on this current situation, up to you to assess.
May I ask a question? I don't mean to get in your relationship, but
It's
was
all on
there...
the table now.
Well, I guess, was there any signs of this decision in betrayal? Or was it simply very out of blue, as you say?
I mean, it was out of the blue. Of course, we had disagreements every once in a while. None of them were serious. He knew all this shit going on with me. I knew all this shit going on with him. It was just sudden.
And your trouble with the law didn't formally publicly begin until after he left?
I mean, I've always had trouble with the law. He didn't care.
I think
It
you've
was
said
just
this,
part of the
Anneka,
Hmm.
but just to confirm, was Sam like actively like seeing the family, or was she on a mission and she came back and they were gone? Like, I forget what it was.
She had come home. It was one of the nights she had left the kids behind, because oftentimes she would take the kids with her to work, doing paperwork and shit. One of the nights she'd left them at home with Reed. She came back and they were gone.
So it wasn't even like you were gone for a couple days. You were gone for like a normal amount of time.
Yeah.
And they were gone. Wow. Okay. And that, for it to happen that seamlessly and with no trace, seems to be something planned rather than something of emotional in response. I hate to be that. I'm sure you've already thought that, but
Yeah. And he took all of their stuff too. It wasn't like a... Obviously they were in the rush, they had to leave when they could, but... He always denounced them with me. I mean, they would tell him to leave me, either that I wasn't worth that marriage. But he always told him to fuck off. And he stayed.
Are we talking about the parents now or your children? I'm sorry, I feel like this should be obvious, but this is his parents, you mean, right?
His parents
Okay.
telling him to leave.
I think I at first heard that he denounced your children as being his.
No!
Okay.
Denounced his parents.
and how long has it been?
Since they left?
Yes.
2 months now? 2.5? How long have you been with the party?
You have been with the party since May 13th. And
That's June.
it is June. It is June 18th.
Okay, so about a month.
Well, and when I say with the party, that's when you met them. You haven't been
Yeah.
with them the whole time, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And then you left a month before that, so it's been 2 months.
Since you left Alaina?
2 months since Reed left.
So it had
It was
been
a
a
month
month.
before meeting the party.
He left a couple months before.
Did we say couple? Okay,
Yes.
couple months before. It's been 3 months.
It was a very mentally hectic time for Sam, so the fact that the timeline is scrambled honestly
Yeah,
makes
she
sense.
doesn't fucking remember.
But it had been a couple months when you met the party. So it's been probably close to 3 months at this point.
Mhm.
And what would you like to know tomorrow? Would you like me to know that they are here or that they are safe?
That they are here.
I can ask 2 more questions if you have more.
If they are here. These are yes or no, right? Yes or no
Yes,
questions.
yes, they are.
Okay. If they're here. If they are with the Rorks.
Should we specify the elder Rorks? Since Rork is a...
If they're
With their grandparent?
yeah, if they're with their grandparents.
Oh, okay. Did your husband leave on his own will?
Yeah. If he left on his own will.
Okay. I will do that first thing in the morning. I'm sorry I can't do it for you now.
I think it would drive me mad knowing that they're here and not being able to get them right now.
Well, before you go crazy then, what is the plan if they are?
They are. You have
Sam,
something to
roll a
say?
d20 for
Oh,
me.
fuck!
What does that mean?
fact, I should
16?
Brain
Probably get
stuff.
3 rolls from you guys before
Oh.
the next day starts.
16.
16?
It's pretty good.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever it is.
Continue.
Okay.
Oh goodness! Oh,
Is my mental status fine?
Oh, Matt.
Okay. I am gonna go crazy, evidently. Going in and just kidnapping them is gonna cause more problems. I would have to talk to him.
What's your end goal? Are you hoping to be with your children, be with your children and him, be with your children and him with his parents' heads on spikes? What is
That would
the-
be preferred. Just to make sure that they're safe. And they're not safe in their hands. The nation is on the edge of a rebellion, of war with Gathos, whatever, or war with Sildari. And they
Was
are...
that a slip or was that?
That was a slip. That was a slip.
An
I
Anneka
meant to
slip?
say. I meant to
I was
say
gonna say, was that
Sildari.
an Anneka slip or was that a Sam slip? Because those are. Yeah,
That was an Anneka slip.
Okay.
In character slips are very big brain. Like,
Mhm.
They are. She's a little too out of it right now to do that.
I mean, the allegiance to Sildari, I respect it, but.
Born and bred across the arm.
Sildari, MM.
I'm proud to be a Sildarian.
Their family is target number 1 if anyone was to come after the government in any way. They are the most powerful pair of people, and then subsequently their children. And potentially they're gunning it for the seat of the Chancellor. So.
Speaking of children, you say children of theirs. How many brothers does your husband have, or sisters?
He has 2 brothers. One younger, one
And-
older.
I'm assuming they're places of power as well.
Mostly. Richard, the older one, he's a politician as well. He's following their footsteps. Martin, the younger one, is kind of less involved. He's the one that actually likes me. Go figure.
Well,
Well-
that may be a lead.
that are in.
Perhaps maybe he could, if we could get the children, maybe he could take care of them.
Or maybe he knows where they are as well.
It is true.
I wanted to go ask him. As
Does he
a precursor
li-
to everyone else.
Does
See
he
you
live
in Alaina.
here?
He lives in Delmara, here.
Then perhaps then tomorrow I ask the wilds for the guidance of if they're here, and then if they're not, maybe, or both ways, maybe we could go and speak to him tomorrow.
Just
Should maybe
keeping everything in view. Speaking with him also raises a lot of potential issues.
Yes.
That expedites anything that you may be hoping to do if it does not go favorably. Favorably.
his wife and kids like me too much to do that. To potentially do anything rash.
To be fair, you thought your husband liked you just fine before he left.
Hate to say she has a point.
But his Martin and his family weren't obligated to like me. The rest of his family doesn't.
Then perhaps, maybe, could you look like him tomorrow and one of us could reach out?
Yeah.
And that
I
way,
can-
there's no way
Write
that
him a note.
that is also true.
Again.
Okay.
I'll write him a note. We ask the wild some questions and
And Eclipse goes to interrogation, and perhaps we have dinner with Dietrich and his daughter.
maybe.
That is a very
What do
busy
you-
day.
Feel about the interrogation, Eclipse?
It's true.
Oh, Jess said BRB 1 minute ago.
Oh.
I guess.
In the chat.
Yeah. She's asleep. She's tired.
Well, I guess in regards to your situation, do you feel that we are at an appropriate space to stop speaking of it? For now. To move on to the other concerns.
Yeah. It's okay with me.
Swinging into the previous question, Eclipse, Nas asked how you're feeling about the interrogation in the morning.
I don't like that it's me by myself, but I think I know why they want that.
Be you by yourself in the room. It doesn't have to be you by yourself. We could be nearby.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're gonna let me in with this, and I'll point at the earring.
Would they let you in with a
Spear.
bug in your pocket?
I don't know how much magic they're gonna be looking for.
Oh yeah.
Your spear can alert us. What if you bring that?
It's... Yeah, and I didn't want to go in there without it. When I need it back, I'll point at the bag.
Mm-hmm. That spear is in the bag because she's using her new one.
Hmm.
I mean, I can have the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I just
You
can't
can carry
use it
multiple
in
spears for
combat.
sure.
That way, if it goes down, then you can contact us at least. That sounds for any one of us. We bust in as quickly as possible.
I'm fine doing that.
And besides, you have a very perceptive mind. I think you'll be okay.
I think the main concern is that you were at a party where one of the Rorks controls the Ivory Guard, and that's where we're planning to have you go for this entire interrogation. Kind of going into the hornet's nest.
Out of all of us, I probably look the most recognizable. Oh. Besides Brightwing, but for different reasons.
It's true.
If these people are responsible for what happened with my dad, then this is a fucking terrible idea. But I'll do it anyway.
So we have the meeting in the morning. The rest of us will grab lunch, breakfast, brunch, stay nearby. Once that is finished, or do we want to do Sam's stuff beforehand? Do we want to speak with the wilds early?
We could do that first thing.
I can do it anytime.
So we can do that right away before. So long as Sam feels okay if the situation were to happen that her children are in the city. Would you be able to wait?
That is a good question. I think we should do it after.
Yeah.
So we will wait to keep mines from running. The dry car, pending what happens with Sam, I suppose.
We told them tomorrow or the next day as far as setting up a meeting, but they did say that it was time sensitive. I foresee this being some request that would also be time consuming, and I felt like if we could get ourselves squared away first. I'm gonna pull out the primer and flip open to one of the books. One of the pages. I don't know if this would be helpful because I don't know that there's much else to be gleaned, but I could make a little lizard to fit in your pocket that I could listen in on while you're in the meeting. But it's just one extra set of ears. I don't know how much more would be gleaned.
It's tough because if this is a chance to gain some semblance of trust, and they aren't involved or he doesn't know, I think this would be a terrible time to ruin it.
That's fair, yeah.
Because they
I
chose
think
me for
this
a
one-
reason, and whether it was the delightful conversation I had or my charming personality,
Maybe it's the fact that you don't wield magic.
that is definitely the reason.
Or they're afraid of you.
That would also be a reason.
I
Honestly.
like that reason.
I would prefer that reason.
Just do the bristle thing. They won't think twice.
I won't.
So pending what happens with our conversation with the wilds and what happens with Sam, we can establish something with the dry car and explore that route. I do think that if we speak with the dry car that we need to be a little bit greedy.
Maybe you can
I-
let me hat.
He probably has a few lying around. You know, to go and get the mail. It's not worth a whole spell to disguise yourself just to run out and grab the mail real quick. Although he probably pays someone to do that.
I think the dry car may be a way to get information about these stones that keep popping up.
That is a very fine line to tread, if he is not indeed an ally of theirs, or if he is an ally of theirs. That's showing a lot of our hand that we've collected and made those connections. I think if
It
that was
is.
the case, there would have to be a lot of trust established.
And it's hard to do that with somebody that is a master of illusion.
Very brief point of order on that line of conversation. Do you guys have noted somewhere what stones you have?
We have the
Yeah.
fire one, we have the pentagon one, we have the hourglass one, we have the crescent moon one.
Well, you're talking about symbols. I'm talking about stones.
Oh, we have the hourglass one, we have the moon one, we have a ring and a flask that have the fire one on it, and we have a paper
The-
that has the pentagon on it. We don't have stones for the other two.
We had the stone from the snitch
Yep.
kid.
Which you guys took and did not leave with the guard.
Correct. We took that.
Okay.
That was
Here
the
we have
hourglass.
the one that we just
That was
got.
the hourglass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it.
Those are like sending stones, right? We think.
We don't know what they are. We don't know what they do. We have no idea. It didn't
Have we
talk. The
cast
sending stone
identify on
didn't
them?
talk, right? The main one didn't say words when it lit up when Talia grabbed it.
In other words, you didn't hear an audible walkie-talkie situation?
Correct.
That is correct.
Okay.
But we heard a second voice when she talked, right?
We didn't hear it.
she
It was in her
talked.
head.
When she spoke, you heard
Yeah.
it was like there were two voices coming out of her mouth. It was very strange.
Mm.
But then you didn't hear
It lit
anything
up when
else.
that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we didn't hear it say stuff. We don't know if it's a sending stone. We don't know anything. We know
Have we
nothing
cast-
about it.
Sure, we have. Have we cast identify on the stones? I'm sure we have.
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Oh, then maybe we should do that.
Identify, please.
Well, that's my lens.
Okay, you've got your
Okay.
lens.
It
Charged?
hasn't.
No.
Yeah. Oh God, it hasn't
On
been
the
used in a
moon.
while.
Okay.
What?
Most recent. Dude, I would suggest our most recent edition if we take a look, because we know that one did something.
Correct.
Or we could go under the guise of that may have had its magic expended, and we didn't see that happen with the other one.
True. If it is a sending stone, they have a repeat use, a daily use, and this one was today. It was used
So-
today, but it would still be inherently magical, even if it was expended. All right. We know this one did something. I think this one's safer. And we'll cast Identify on the most recent stone.
Okay. Roll an Arcana check.
Ooh, boy. Guidance. Guidance. Guidance.
Give Sam a leveling cleric.
Timer.
Pretty good. 29.
Oh,
Pretty
Pretty
good.
good.
Wow.
I didn't do the math all the way yet.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good.
that's pretty good.
Okay. 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 It is a sending stone.
Oh.
However, with a 29, you know that sending stones come in pairs.
Mm-hmm.
This stone seems capable of interacting with more than one other stone.
Oh no! It's a network.
Whoa.
It's a network.
Oh god!
Do they send to each other? Can the two that we have? Do they talk to each other?
Well, we could talk to a lot of people
Oh,
all at once.
open line.
Yeah, is it an
Nope.
open line or is it a direct call?
With a 29, it is not an open line. It is like it can be
Ow.
in the same way that normal sending stone is directed towards its partner, it can be directed towards one of several or multiple partner stones. You don't know how many.
Bro,
Wow.
it's like a
There's-
FaceTime call where you can add people in.
There's
Are they still one
something-
way? What? Sorry.
There's something very dangerous that could be done with this.
Oh yeah, that's a Hail Mary for sure.
I will say, oh man. Yeah, I will say with a 29, as you continue to ruminate over the, like, arcane revelation of what this item, contains in terms of magical capability, you sense a specific number of other connections. 4.
Or additional on top of what we have?
There is almost a... It seems to you as you look at it and almost read this magic through the lens, there is almost this arcane connection between the points of the compass and the other stones. Like
the 29,
one
do
you-
I know where they are?
No. But
So-
you feel like this stone is
Find
represented.
my phone.
Right, yeah. Represented by and tied inherently to the symbol on it, and then these 4 points fuse it to these
Cool.
4 other stones.
So there's 5.
So there's
total.
6. 6
Yeah,
total.
can we
Well, I'm
clarify
identifying
them?
the one. Is it 4
One,
additional besides
2,
the one
3.
that we're holding? Besides the one that's in my hand?
Yeah, that's what you're gathering is that
So
you have
5
the
total.
one,
So we have
you
2
have
of the 5.
one, and it
Damn.
connects to 4 others.
And we
You're
have
on the desk.
we have potentially 4 of the 5 symbols.
Whoa. So we
Oh.
can maybe contact 4 of the 5 people that are in this. Well, we taken out 1.
Well, yeah. We've taken
Take out 2 people.
Well, effectively,
This-
So
we've-
that's
we've
even dangerous.
neutralized 2.
Okay, guys, that's even
To our
more
knowledge.
dangerous that we have these 2 because then the other people can just confirm.
And we
Who
know who
has
probably has one of them.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Talk to her! Tell her line!
The dry car of evocation, potentially.
Oh gosh, this is big.
It was. Oh.
Why did the kid have one?
He was her, like, rat. He was her little minion doing things and stuff.
So the assumption could be that the 3 remaining are for the dry car of evocation, the dry car of dunamancy, and possibly whichever other dry car is involved.
Okay, alternative idea. It is one of the dry car and 4 of their minions, considering 2 of them have been minions so far. This could be just that one dry car's communication network of their inner circle.
This is
2 options.
concerning that the person that is involved with kidnapping children is in contact with someone manipulating remains.
This is getting worse every time we discover something new.
When the ring and the flask were found, were you aware of anyone of import?
There was no one else of import on the ship
Publicly important, at least.
at all. It's a small ship.
But these were goods being buried, right?
They were.
Headed
Matt,
for
Yes.
Pearson.
is that one prick new?
Was that one prick new?
Hmm.
I'm gonna need a little bit more clarification on what that means.
Going back 2 years.
Yeah. Hold on. I
For
have to
real.
find it.
Are you talking about in your crew?
Yeah. I'll send it to you. God, we haven't talked. Oh no, you're number 5. There you are. I have to go to my other notes as well. I sent you the name, but I'll go to my other notes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have it.
Okay.
Relatively to some members of the crew, yes, but not like days or weeks before the event occurred. More like a few months, and
Okay, so he
you
was
you
there.
had time to build up a connection with him, though it wasn't that positive of one.
Okay.
It wasn't someone that joined the ship for that voyage.
No.
Nobody else. Purely goods.
And it was headed for Piracia?
It was.
No, it's funny. We could have figured a long time ago if we identified it back when we got it.
Yeah.
Oh, that it never occurred to us. Did we maybe mention it in passing and then was like, oh, I can't do that today, and then it got put in a bag of holding and never...
Could have.
Well, maybe because I assumed we had already
wanna
did
say
it.
We cast detect magic on it or something, and it didn't have anything, but I could be wrong.
Let's put this in the knife as well. Is the other
Oh.
one in the knife?
Don't remember what's in. I can open it. Yes.
I'd like to think that sometimes it's not a perfect square, and therefore the
Oh, for
box is
sure.
also not a perfect square, and it's like sometimes, and everything's kind of knocked on its side.
I'll like do
You're
like
watching
little...
Disney Channel.
You're watching.
True.
You're watching the wilds. Is it in there? Did we put it in the knife? I don't think we did.
Look in your inventories
I'm
because you should
looking.
have it written wherever it is.
I am looking. I have seashells, blight oil, blue teapot,
Oh, stone
love
with
letters,
hourglass, bag of holding.
Okay.
wooden dragon.
Oh, that we have a new bag of holding now.
You
Oh,
do.
Boat.
do.
Keep
should have that
them the
separate.
fuck apart.
You guys got all kinds of pockets.
Okay,
of
this will be
kitchens.
Sam's
All right,
specifically, and
Sam
that would
has
be
a bag of holding
Faye's.
now.
Sam never goes in the bag of holding.
With her bag of holding on her.
No,
Yes.
Oh,
never go into the bag of holding.
puts a
Unless we
person in a
wanted-
bag of holding. That's just cruel.
I fucking wonder, Megan. Whoever it is, they probably came out fucking depressed.
Listen, man, it was a robot.
No.
But
Okay.
we can put them in the knife. That would be secure. You cannot open it unless you are attuned to the knife, so it's...
We still don't know what's on the other end of that knife. It's made of wood. Have we ever tried to cut the back of whatever's in the back of the knife?
Yeah, is
I
this
doubt it.
Is this a cupboard into someone's, like, home?
Like, is there a drawer somebody opens? It's like a junk drawer in the middle of nowhere. Some abandoned cabin.
I mean, you're welcome to try, but allow me to move things so... She, does, drawings and getting some leaves that she's drying out of the way.
My name's
Sam.
Brightwing. This is my locker at school.
This is my locker!
Locker toy.
Are
You
there
see-
seams? Like, is this wood? What is the interior of this?
You're inspecting the inside of
I'm
the
going
pocket
to
knife?
inspect. Yeah, because why the
Okay.
hell not?
Roll an investigation check.
Natural 20
Oh my God.
gosh.
for a 25.
Oh, wowza.
Didn't we roll a natural 20 to get this damn dagger? Isn't that what happened?
No, you rolled...
You rolled
it
a
was
100 on a D100.
Oh, 100. Eclipse rolled it, yeah.
For what?
just-
Yeah, for what was in the bag of washing.
Yep. Well,
100, like,
Obviously.
50 sessions
Somebody-
later.
somebody randomly said. Someone said, "Is there another dagger or something?" I don't remember
Yeah.
what was said.
Yeah.
I don't
We were
know.
watching
Something.
daggers and some shit happened.
'Cause somebody
Yeah.
said, "Oh, is he gonna lose that dagger now
Oh,
too?"
that's what it was.
Oh,
because...
that is what it was. Yep.
And then there was 2 more.
For a 25 total, you said
25.
while Brightwing is adjusting, stick your own head in, kind of feel up into the edges and corners. It seems very much like the inside of a cupboard somewhere. It's
And I-
fine wood, But it doesn't give the same impression as what your understanding of like bag of holding pocket dimensions that are just their own contained little thing of no features or construction.
Swear to God, if this goes to Narnia, can I push on the back of it?
You push on the back of it, and the wood has a little bit of play, but it doesn't.
Is this what we're doing today?
Oh, wait, I get sucked into another dimension.
I want to knock on it. I'll knock. I'll knock on the wood.
Roll a perception check. Brightwing, you can roll one as well since you're standing.
Another fucking natural.
Oh my gosh, this knife is.
What the fuck, man?
The
I'm not
warp's
gonna touch
fate.
it. I'm not gonna touch it. Hold on.
A giant
so it's-
opens the
it's not
cabinet from his
bullshit.
kitchen. What the fuck is going on here?
Just so
What's
it's
the
not
total?
bullshit. Perception 21.
It's like a goblin's like.
Perception
Oh, that's so
27.
Damn. Okay. Both of you hear what sounds like the thunk on relatively solid wood, but it is colored and tinged with this reverberation and distant hollow echo almost.
What if, like, this knife is literally just like, hey, this is the cupboard that I have in my house somewhere, and I use this knife to, like, just access the cupboard?
I think important things may not be the best thing to keep in the knife anymore.
What do I have in the knife? I
wasn't-
have all
what
our
was-
money.
Hold on.
All the money's
What?
been in the knife.
What was in this when we first got... It was notes, right?
It
is a bunch
was
of
these
stuff.
notes.
Oh.
These notes that are like love letters. There's these she shells. There is this pocket watch that has seemed to be from father to daughter.
Can I look at the
Understand.
pocket watch?
Yeah.
Is it in sync with mine? Is it the same hour?
I think you have done this before.
I'm gonna do it again.
I
don't
believe
remember
you
it
have
before.
checked the clock to see
You
if
may
it was
have.
accurate.
Well, how
Damn it.
recently was it interacted with? Like, is it a one
Well,
that needs to be wound in order to keep time?
I am not positive what I said previously, so heck you for making me do this. Hopefully Cammy doesn't go back in the records and find out I contradict myself. But I'm 90% sure you asked this before, and I believe what I said then was, it is no longer ticking.
Okay. I'll accept that.
But can we put
So-
a new one in there and track it?
Well, we've already
It would
established
be the
that
same
it
amount of time.
You did that with plants, I think.
with plants, and it like wilted. So like it
We're just
doesn't.
gonna do the first
preserve
40
things.
sessions again. So
Yeah,
we're,
for
doing, we're
real.
doing the pocket watch thing.
I wasn't here
we
for
gotta,
that.
we gotta go to Sawfeld. We gotta get rid of Sam. We gotta go back to Sawfeld. We gotta help some kids. Let some twins get abducted. Fight a hag.
Can
and
I
start all
look
over.
in like for me I've opened this pocket knife quite a bit in our travels. Has anything been disrupted or disturbed anytime I've opened it? Like,
I will say, given just your passive perception and the way that you've talked about this thing and how you've like decorated and organized it, that it insinuates a level of care and interest in it, that you would notice if something was awry on a subsequent opening, and that has never been the case.
I mean, we could cut a hole in the back.
We could stand. I'm curious if it's just like in a place that's occupied. when we walk around, when we interact with the outside of it, like, it looks like nothing from behind the entrance, right?
Correct.
Could I stand a copper piece up inside on its lip, and like see if I can get it to balance? Because usually, like, if something's on a table, like a coin is balanced on a table and someone walks across the room, it tips.
Big
The
fucking brain.
Vibrations in the floor.
You're putting a coin inside, standing up,
Yeah.
and then,
And then
you're...
Theoretically, if this is a cabinet in a place that is occupied by someone,
I see. You're trying
Any
to
ti- like-
read tremors of some kind.
see if
Okay.
this is, yeah.
You take a second to stand it up, watch it for a little while. Nothing happens.
Fine. This is a long game.
Oh, you're gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it.
Oh, okay.
Important things for the time being of paranoia, because eclipses is how you always feel. Probably keep important things out of there. Anyway, knowing that, circling back to the stones, we have information of one of the holders that is dead that apparently or potentially nobody else knows about yet. And I listened to her speak for quite a while. We could potentially see who's on the other line.
But
Well, you would only get a voice. They wouldn't announce themselves.
Of course not, but we'd know if it's a male or female. Mannerisms, potentially. They might slip up.
it seems very risky.
Yeah. Well, what else? What do we do that's not risky?
Perhaps, in case it is something that could be very, very risky, perhaps we should wait till we know of Sam's children and do this on a day where we know we can be able to get out of town very fast.
The problem is that this happened today. It's very possible this opportunity is not still here tomorrow. This person is dead.
There's also
We were the
two.
only ones to witness her die.
Mm.
I'm not saying we have to do it, but
But how will they know? If we stash them in a bag of holding, will they not be able to see where it is anymore? If they try to scry on it or find it in some way.
I'm more considering the fact that the person's death would eventually meet people that have these other ones. We
That
no
might make
longer have
sense.
that ability.
If we do it, what's the likelihood of it getting tracked back to us?
I don't know.
I think it's pretty low.
Day has ping-ponged all over the place.
Maybe we don't do it today. Maybe we put them in the bag of holding. Preferably the one that has nothing else in it, currently.
Depends if you scry on an item in a bag of holding.
I would be more comfortable if I was better prepared. I have nothing left today.
Does scry only work on the plane of existence that you are on? Or can it cross planes?
Right wing, I would say, given you have the power to cast the spell now, you would know the answer to that question, which is that it is something on the plane of existence. Same plane of existence as you.
So unless they were in the bag of holding,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't be able to scry on it. Which
No.
they could be in there. Have we checked?
I'm not putting my head in, are you?
Okay, somebody asked nicely.
Should be okay.
Inside the bag of holding that I picked up.
You stick your head inside?
I just looked through it.
Stick
I
an
don't stick my head
arm.
all the way in. Pulls me in.
An
closes
undead
it,
arm.
It gets chopped off.
Yeah, for real. The mimic.
Yeah. It eats you. Quick,
I guess.
barbarian, grab you.
I turned it over already. Nothing's in there.
Yeah,
That's
you
equal.
emptied it, so what is in there now is everything you put back.
Which would be what was in there if it was normal.
Mm-hmm.
The addition potentially of another rock with an hourglass on it.
But the rock's in the bag. The rock bag.
I have the hourglass one in the other bag.
I'm just thinking maybe if we put that in with the other one, that way. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. They can't see it. I guess that part. They're fine as long as they're in one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess we tackle this one thing at a time in the morning.
Wee boy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Kit.
He's so
Is it-
good.
Such a good boy.
His butt is on the armrest, and everything else is in my arms.
Oh.
All right.
I guess I do have a bit of a perspective question. Do any of you feel it's wrong that a being as evil as this necromancer dying causes anger? Is that bad?
You're angry.
I just feel like we could have gotten so much clarity. We seem to be chasing things. We went there looking for elder relics, things that are so old we know nothing about them, to save them from people that we don't know, that are trying to potentially get them to gain their own power. But why us? Why would we get them? Why would we try to get there first? Who are we?
We're the Twilight Heralds. What do you mean?
I am mad at a lot of things that have transpired today. I am mad at my own mistake and misjudgment. I am mostly mad at her cowardness. She took and more lives than I have ever seen, and then defiled what was left in ways too horrid to think. I am not that she is dead. I am mad that I am not able to get more. So yes, I think it is alright to be mad. But don't be mad at your failure. I think me be mad at her character.
I guess I'm angry for the situation because where we were 2 months ago, I was saying it felt like we were in over our heads, and it still feels that way. This is bigger than us. I
How
guess
do you
that's
think?
what I mean.
How do you think I feel? I don't know any of this. I grew up in the forest where people get along most of it, and conflicts are solved most of the time with talking. No sneakery, no blatant disregard for life and the ways I have seen. honestly, today was probably one of my worst days, and I haven't been home in over months, and part of today I wanted to go back home. As you say, the illness of missing home. Very strong the past few days. I don't know I'm here besides being with you all. I don't really have a reason other than that. To be honest,
I think what we did
more
was
I-
not only a waste of time, but it was shitty. It was shitty timing. We needed to wait. That's just me.
we can't change what happened. We can work with what we have. And if it is too much for us, maybe we just give it to Rylas and be done. But I am still wanting to find those kids.
I think, save for Sam's children, Freckle and Blue have been weighing on me for some time. And then knowing that there is a possibility of a locale that they could be south of Hockholm is difficult to continue ignoring. I just don't want shiny trinkets to potentially pull attention away from something that we may still be able to fix.
Well, I learned while I was out in Piercer. One of our leading ladies are suspects. Is living in Gastlunen. Over in Soldari. Just across the mountains from Hockholm.
Suspect.
Adrexia.
So maybe it isn't something that we can fix anymore.
But those kids, they don't deserve to be forgotten.
They don't. No kid does.
Maybe that should be a question. Kids still alive. For the wild.
I fear that might be too broad a question for the wilds to answer.
And alive has different meanings for these people. We can just ask them if they're there. Or
They're
somewhere.
with Adrexia.
Or in that town. In Gastlunen, at least. Because she may not be directly involved in their holding. She definitely wanted them over there.
I fear our failure today is affecting our choice for future. Perhaps we should sleep until we are more clear of mind and decide from there.
See what tomorrow brings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm gonna walk away without saying anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna go up to Sam. I know it's not under the best circumstances, but as I said before, I am very happy you are back. I have
Thank you.
a lot of friends leaving, but you're the first ones to come back and stay.
I couldn't be far from you guys for too long.
Big hug.
Give her a big hug.
Insert art here.
As someone who was largely forgotten about in my early years, I would have given every scrap of magic I own to have known that someone was looking for me with the same tenacity that you seek your children. And I can't give up my magic now. I don't want to. But what I can do is dedicate it to making sure that others are not forgotten. Your kids. The kids that have been kidnapped. They are not forgotten, and we will make sure they know that.
I certainly will.
I'll dedicate the rest of my magic to making sure no kid ever has to go forgotten again.
We have to have hope.
It's hard to find when it feels like we've made a series of very poor decisions.
Mistakes happened. Okay.
I think it was less poor decisions and more poor variables.
Not enough information.
Let's face the truth. We have the remainder of our lives to make even worse ones.
When your hypothesis doesn't work, you revise it. In the
My
end, you still get a research
hypothesis
paper.
Did not work. I will say that much. And I apologize.
H2 it is then. And then H3, and then H4. Until we get it right.
As long as we can keep the casualties to a minimum.
I'm going to bed.
Mm-hmm. Give
Good
Sam a
night.
hug.
Tight squeeze.
Mm. Ruffle your hair because no one can tell under your disguise.
True.
It would have dropped by now.
Oh man, never
It's an
mind.
hour, right?
Yeah.
This
An
is
hour.
probably
I just
Yeah,
needed to
fair
get
enough.
home.
Yeah.
It went away during my 45-minute shower.
That's
Oh,
yeah,
true.
valid,
True.
valid.
Very valid. Okay. Everybody heads to bed.
I have two things.
Okay.
Oh boy.
After everyone goes to bed in a little bit, I will see that Eclipse needs time to herself. And not bother her, but simply bring her a pot of tea that I have made especially for her. A new experimental flavor that I think she would like. And knock on the door and simply just leave it for there and go on my way.
Okay. Clips, do you open the door?
I specifically wait till I hear walking away and then I'll do it.
Okay. You see T left there.
You get back inside and probably oversteep it by accident, losing my brain in thought.
Okay.
Eventually drink it.
It would taste. So the stuff that she used for this was from your mom's garden that she was helping out. So it has notes of more floral tones with more of a spice to it, and honey. But distinct memory of home, I guess, is what you have when you drink it.
Can I put in an order for the calm tea?
Yeah.
In order for Frida's drugs.
Bro.
If you want some, I can go make you a pot too. He said, "Oh no."
I will take anything to calm me down right now.
Okay, I'll make the same tea I've been using for Sam. I gave her a bag to take with her before she left. Of the same.
Did I not write that down? I probably already
I don't know,
drank it
but
already.
you've probably used it all
I've
up
probably
in
drank
your
it.
travels.
Drank it.
Okay.
First night on the road.
Taking.
Oh, this was supposed to be multiple servings?
Oh no!
I'm fucking dead on the floor.
The first night in Purister doesn't remember a thing. Slept
It's
the
just
whole
tea.
day.
Okay. Teas are drunk.
Do I get straight back with the tea? With my tea?
I will give you a bonus to your save.
Yes.
+1.
Plus
Okay.
one.
Mm-hmm.
I have one other
Um,
thing.
Oh
Unless
yes,
someone
one
else
other
has.
thing.
Unless someone else has something.
Go for it.
I have one spell left.
Ooh.
It is a 4th level spell,
Ooh.
and I will use it to cast Sending
Okay.
to Mikhail.
Okay.
Hi. Today was not a very good day. And I guess I wanted something to end on a good day. I wanted to say goodnight to you.
Couple moments. I'm sorry that it wasn't a good day. Though knowing you, I imagine it was in the pursuit of making someone else's better. Good night.
I'll go to bed
Okay.
with a smile
Alright.
on my face.
Mm-hmm. You guys all get long rests. We will take our break there. we will jump back in. You all wake up Wednesday morning with a to-do list, apparently. What are you doing?
Can I roll for my restraint? 'Cause we
You
slept.
can, yes. Yeah, you definitely should roll for your restraint with a +1.
11. It's plus wisdom, though, right? Or it's just straight roll?
Yes, plus your modifier, yes.
13.
+1?
What's your DC right now?
Not good.
I think it's 15. Yep, it's 15. So you get half back. Half of your number. Half your number.
Ooh, I'm only missing 1.
No, not half of your total number.
Oh, half my what? My restraint number?
Your
Or half
wisdom
my
modifier.
total?
So 1. The rules are in your features and traits, you know.
I don't read them.
Okay, well, you read them while someone tells you what you guys are doing. If anything, before Jess Eclipse goes to
Jeffiner.
Jeffiner.
I
Goes
think
to
that was the
station.
first thing because we didn't want to do the commune beforehand.
Okay. Is anybody traveling to the Dawn Burrows with Eclipse and then stopping elsewhere?
No.
Okay, you guys are staying at the home.
Stop for brunch.
Yeah, we're
Nearby.
gonna brunch it up.
You're
Oh,
gonna
shoot.
brunch
Is there-
nearby.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna
Can't
say
brunch
like I
without Eclipse. That's
We're
rude.
going to half brunch, not quite all the way inside nearby.
Mimosas.
We're gonna bottomless mimosa until she gets back.
Oh,
No.
great! Eclipse
No.
is gonna come out.
It's just orange juice, though. We just want to look like we're mimosaing.
Okay.
We're,
All right.
we're in the area waiting for Eclipse.
Okay.
Within range
Fair
of
enough.
the spear.
So everybody comes down and hangs out within 500 feet of the station. Okay. And Eclipse, are you doing anything, prepping anything, bringing anything unusual with you?
Unusual?
it's
Not
not,
your normal-
unusual. to
Both
be
spears? Are you bringing both
loved.
spears?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I could put the gauntlet back in the bag.
Okay. Which no longer has a charge? Did you use it? I can't remember. No, you didn't use it, I don't think.
didn't use it.
Okay, so it still has a charge. Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think it's supposed to get a thing back. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Yeah, it's going in the bag.
Okay. Alrighty. You guys, once again, thank goodness for your...
Who
Oh,
wants
yes?
the earring? Because
Oh.
I don't want to get in trouble for having it.
I'll take it.
Okay. So, shield, both spears. No gauntlet. That's all the import. Portal rod.
I have it marked that it's in the bag of holding.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm holding the earring of Whisper in my ear.
Okay. Fair. All right.
Yeah. 'cause
Oh,
I'll keep
lantern?
the lantern.
Do you have the lantern? You could keep
Yeah, I'll
the
keep
lantern.
it.
Okay.
It's whatever.
Okay. All right. You all make your way down the Skylifts once again into the Dawn Burrows, back along a similar path to the one you took last night, and eventually to the front of Dawnbreak Station, though the rest of the group splinters off. So as to remain close, but not in sight. Eclipse, you continue in?
Yeah.
Okay. You reach the guards who nod at you, look like they've been given a list of people expected for today, and don't stop you from entering. You reach the large double doors to the inside of the main building. open to a austere hall with marble columns, floors inlaid with mosaics of ivory and gold. This whole place is much more, I guess a word probably that would come to Eclipse's mind would be garish than the station in Alea, which you're very familiar with and were in recently. Though not in like a distasteful way, more in a we are important and powerful kind of way. And you see in the lobby, leaning up against one of the columns, Rylus, who immediately clocks you, walks up. Should be interesting.
Well, at least you're here. That's a better sign.
Yes, it wasn't entirely the easiest to gain access, though they seemed to respect you in some way. It wasn't as hard actually to get you in as I thought it would be. Regardless, hopefully we can learn something. I imagine the others are close.
They're close enough. And I'll tap the other spear that's normal looking.
Okay.
Not the new one that I have.
Good. Alright. Starting soon, I think. Nods and starts walking. You guys make your way down several hallways, through a couple doors, down a set of stairs, kind of a switchback set of stone stairs, and eventually to a mahogany door with a sign that reads Interrogation 1A. And there's a pair of guards there. They see you both open it, and you enter into what is a smallish amphitheater type structure. It is very similar, if you've seen Harry Potter, to the Wizengamot sort of situation, where there's a series of staired seats around a central area, and you see several figures, as well as the corpse of one of the riflemen lying on a table in the center of this circle. You see a 7-foot tall Minotaur woman, white furred, in silver armor and a large cape that clearly signifies a high-ranking member of the Ivory Guard. You see another figure, a slate grayscale dragonborn man that bears, and you would actually probably even know the station of a captain of the Ivory Guard, and the Minotaur you would also know bears the station of a chief, the chief. You also see in the station of the deputy chief, Reed Rourke, who you're familiar with. You see a Owlin, gray and brown feathered, looks to be a little older, wearing what looks to be cleric garbs. And he is standing near the chief down in the sort of amphitheater floor. And you see, guarded by 2 members of the guard, and shackled, the captain of the Flashfire Company, who you had interacted with or seen briefly at the gala, Captain Roderick O'Malley. Dwarf, red hair, looks a little haggard. And there are a few other guards stationed around, just on the outskirts, seeming to be enforcement, but not particularly involved in the proceedings. These other figures are either, in the case of the chief and the cleric, down in the amphitheater, or in the case of the others, seated in the seats pretty close to the front. Reed sees you and Rylus approach, nods at both of you, and just gestures to the seats. Do you sit in any particular area near any particular people, or just find somewhere secluded?
I think I'll just follow Rylus's lead on this, since I think he's been a part of these more than anything.
Okay. He would make his way around. There's probably about 20 seats in total, and just a small handful of people here. Make his way around, briefly greet Reed, shake his hand, and then go up like an extra row or two and sit.
Okay.
It's probably about 10 feet from Reed and 15, 20 feet from the center where the people are. You guys wait in silence. A couple more minutes pass, and the chief stands up from the seat inside the amphitheater floor. Right. We are here to interrogate, post-mortem, one of the perpetrators of the recent attack on the Radiance Gala. Cleric Percival Wentworth will be carrying out the arcane portion of this. I will direct the questions. If anybody has anything to say at any point, make yourselves known. Looks around for any objection or question. None are given. All right. Nods to the cleric, who steps forward, grasps a symbol on their chest. Make a religion check.
Oh boy. Here we go. Also, we didn't get pre-rolls. It's a 5.
5? Okay. You see what looks to be an axe, but can't quite make out enough details or remember from your schooling what it might represent. Double-headed. Holds it for a second, and his palm starts to glow this silver light. Extends it out over the figure, and the light descends into it. And you wait for a moment. There is a... as it sucks in. And the chief stands next to the cleric, arms crossed. Who ordered the attack on the Gala? The cleric echoes the question.
All our orders came from the captain.
And you and everyone else immediately look to the dwarven figure, who you see without an insight check, with your passive insight, a look of shock and confusion. Fucking Ellie! That's not true at all! I had no idea what... And the Minotaur, the chief. Quiet. Questions will come to you after. He, the captain, grumbles, looks shaken, and quiets himself, but you see brimming anger and confusion.
So we're just interrogating like Soldier A of who we left behind.
Yes, correct. The chief, after glaring the captain down, looks back. This attack was well outside the typical scope of the company. How did such an extreme mission come to your doorstep? The cleric echoes the question.
A visitor to the barracks showed interest in our arms, had a private conversation with the captain. He gave us the orders an hour later.
The captain, again, whose eyes continue to turn towards, looks like he's holding in, yelling and screaming, brow furrowed, grumbles, gets an eye from the chief, who turns back again. Would you describe this visitor and whatever you can remember about his visit? Cleric echoes the question.
A blue-skinned Genasi man seemed to be a powerful organist. Our orders were to attack during his performance at the gala. And a tan-skinned woman, garb and accent sounded Sildarian.
For once, there's not an immediate reaction towards the dwarven captain, as everyone in the room, there is a slight murmur, knows who is being mentioned. At the top of that answer, at least. Again, the chief glares. Quiet.
Can I look at Reed? Just glance over at Reed.
Yeah, you can look at Reed. What are you looking
Did
for?
anything in his face change at the description of a Sildari woman?
Roll an active insight check, I will
Get
say
him.
in this case.
Guidance from afar.
Nope.
23.
Damn! You see a very poor attempt at hiding confusion, concern, and a what the fuck behind his eyes. It's like the eyebrows immediately move and the eyes get bigger, and then like a quick shake and attempts to stabilize. But with a 23, you catch that. Eventually the murmuring settles down. The chief looks back to the cleric. Such a mission would be highly treasonous. Why did the company agree to such a thing? Cleric repeats the question.
The captain turned any questions aside, but assured us that we would be serving the realm. We follow orders.
Chief takes a moment, looks to a couple of figures seated around. Anyone have a particular final question?
Have you verified the validity of these statements?
This is a question you're asking the chief?
Mhm.
Or a suggested... Okay. She looks to you, kind of seemingly noticing you or clocking you significantly for the first time. I don't know what you mean. This...
You have a cleric. Have they gone through the necessary steps to make sure that this is true?
This is an interrogation of a dead person. I don't know that that's a question. Looks down at the cleric. Well, it's not impossible for those beyond to answer in incompletes or to mislead. The chief seems to think for a second. Is there anything we can do to test the veracity of this? Not retroactively. Unfortunately. The chief looks back to you.
I will shrug. Apologies.
Do
I just wanted to verify.
you doubt the veracity of these claims? These answers?
No, I was simply curious if that was in place.
All right. Rylus, sitting next to you. I'd be curious to know if anyone at the gala was designated for protection from this attack. The chief looks at him now. Are you suggesting this could have been an inside job? If there's nothing else in particular worth asking, it can't be harmful to rule it out. Fair enough. Looks to the cleric. He echoes Rylus's question now. And the corpse just responds, none. And then and the light leaves and dissipates. And there is a immediate hubbub of concern and disbelief as people talk to the person next to them.
Said that no one was designated safe from this?
None were designated safe, is what he answered.
Yeah.
You see Reed step down to the edge of the seating. Chief, we reached out to the dry car about still being in Ilmara. There wasn't an answer given. Don't know if we intend to follow up on that, but the chief nods to him, looks to the captain, the Dragonborn. Send a missive to our officers in Hockholm and on the Western Front. Warn them of potentially problematic escalations with Sildari due to actions against Kathian dignitaries. Rourke, I'd like to speak with you privately. For the rest of you, goes without saying, you're sworn to secrecy on what happened here, at least until this investigation is complete. Immediately, the captain of the Flashfire Company starts objecting again. Roll an insight check. since you're actively evaluating what's going on here.
God, these insight checks suck. Over 10.
10. You don't get a particular sense for the authenticity, thank you, English, of the captain, though certainly he seems very worked up, whether that's because he's pissed about being outed or pissed about being wrongly accused, you're not sure. But Rylus stands, looks to you, and everybody starts shuffling out. Anything else you want to do or say with anyone here before leaving?
No, I'm gonna play it cool for now.
Okay. As you guys exit, Rylus gets close to you. I'm very good at what I do. I don't think that dwarf was lying. I don't know what that means, though the pertinence of your question certainly rings true if that story and his come into conflict.
I'm going to attempt to hide a cocky smile and just mutter, "That was the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen in my life. I didn't know the dead could be scripted."
I don't know how they could. This will be an important inquiry for the wind. And I don't know how much we'll be able to sway the God's interpretation of it, or the public's, though hopefully they don't let this get out.
Well, thankfully they're not what I'm worried about. I can't control what they do, nor am I gonna try. But that man was definitely concerned about a description of a certain person, and I find that interesting as well. Also, why wouldn't you tell them to protect you in an attack? If you hired them for your own show.
Valid question. That one, I have a guess, which is that he likely, well, in this theoretical realm, where this is how it went down,
For authenticity.
he would know he could handle a handful of riflemen, I assume.
Well, let's go break some rules, and I will walk out.
Okay. And head to find the group, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. Rylus will give you a nod at the gates, be in touch, and break with you.
Okay.
You sync up with the group at the
I'm going to detour a little bit and see if I'm
Okay.
being followed.
Okay. I will say roll a... Are you attempting to lose a follow primarily, or are you attempting to figure out if there is one primarily?
I'm tempting at first to pinpoint a follow. So I would like
Okay,
to look
roll-
like, oh, I'm just getting supplies, which I'll do it if I fucking have to. Just get like
Roll-
torches, rope, things like that.
Roll a perception check.
A little better. 19?
Okay. You wander a bit, find a store, stop at it briefly, just do the look in the stand of sunglasses at the reflective sunglass to see if
Basically,
there's someone
yeah.
behind you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing. There are no sunglasses, but you find one a
Yeah.
mirror store and look in the mirror. You are very, very aware of how these kinds of things look because you are very good at doing it yourself and seeing suspicious activity. You do not see anything following.
Okay. Then I will take the long way back to everyone else.
Okay. Sync up with
Just
them
to be extra sure.
they all have a glass of orange juice. In a
I'm at the
champagne.
bottom of like my 8th virgin mimosa. Just stress drinking.
True.
But there's no alcohol in it, so I'm just drinking a lot of orange juice.
Okay.
The
No
eclipse
scurvy.
that left you looked horribly nervous. The eclipse that comes back to you looks like a cocky bitch.
Okay.
I was assuming it went well. You look happy.
Not here.
Fair.
But yeah, you know. It was nice of them to invite me. How's this? And she gestures to the cups.
Depends. Do you want one?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Okay. You guys partake
Gee,
in some
those
virgin mimosa?
stones were a great sight to be had. From what was her name again?
The scones?
Stones.
It's from the lady on the mountain, right? Genuinely, Jess has no fucking idea what you're talking about.
No, I think that is
don't.
what he's talking about.
Okay.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought he was
that's-
talking
that's-
about.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
the-
Okay.
the
I
Goliath
don't
in
remember
the
her
cave?
name
I don't
at
remember her
all.
name.
I don't
I
either.
mean, yeah. Very fair.
Or Shauna or something like that, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Shoshana.
might have been it, actually.
Okay, I got it right. I just don't have the name.
There'll be like a slight hesitance, and then
She rolled them.
I'll
Told
grab one of
fortunes.
the drinks next to the one that I've got that actually has alcohol in it. It has alcohol in it. Give it to her.
The fortune teller on the mountain.
All right.
Should
Thumbs up.
You gave me the alcohol one? Or you're having
Yep.
the alcohol one? Great.
I have one. You're getting one.
Okay.
everyone's getting drunk. Stay drunk.
It's
What do you mean?
still Brightwing, don't worry about it. No, I'll
Juice.
just drink it.
Like,
What-
confused.
When did you get ones with alcohol in them?
This has
Really
alcohol in it? And I just tilt my head at you.
I see the bubbles in that one.
Oh shit, you're right. Is that what that is? Anyways.
Is
I'd
orange
love if
juice
you have another.
carbonated?
In this universe, maybe. We don't know.
Probably.
Maybe. Artisanal orange juice.
Mm.
It's just Fanta.
Yes.
Ah!
Corn syrup.
Love
Sunny
Corn
D.
I
syrup.
It's a
love-
hard Sunny D.
Ugh.
Hard
Yeah.
Sunny D.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They exist.
They do, and I want one.
Mm.
Mm.
Nostalgia.
It's the millennials
Um,
word for it.
Do you
Back to the house or somewhere
Yes.
just more private? Okay.
I think that would be wise.
Mm.
If we have everything we need.
Well, we at least need to get a few of these bacon pancake things to go.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I will
Hopefully we can come
say
down here and have this normally.
8 silver for the whole shebang, somebody.
Got it.
And you guys acquire some pancakes to go. Head back up to the estate. Okay.
I'm going to ritually cast Detective Magic before we start talking
Okay.
to see if anyone's scrying on us.
Okay. 11 minutes, 10 minutes? 10 minutes
10
in an action
minutes.
later? 10 minutes in an action later. Nothing.
You're in the clear.
So not only were they completely incapable of determining whether any of this was true, I don't know how, But that thing lied through its teeth.
Well, of course, they are still the the mirror of the person that left. If they don't know you're a friend, they can die. Everyone that
But
can
this
do that
was perfect. I feel like we could have picked anyone and they would have said the exact same thing.
I've never heard of a charm that lasts after death.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
necromancer that has power of the dead.
Regardless, they blamed it on the Drycar of Illusion and Sam. Although not by name, but by description.
We know that to be false.
I
Sam
don't
wasn't
know
here.
about Sam. Well, I don't know about the Drycar, but I know Sam because Sam wasn't here.
That was in different place.
But no one else knows that.
Exactly.
I wonder if that's the nature of the meeting that the Drycar wanted to have with us, if he's aware of his, shit.
More importantly, it specifically said that no one was marked to be safe.
Then why were none of us shot at initially?
Exactly.
If it's one thing to not consider anybody safe, it's another thing to consider priority targets.
Target and people weren't there either. We know that.
No, the rocks were not there.
Why does that not
So
be a
that's an
question?
easy way to get around the possible lie of saying nobody was deemed safe. Remove the people that you deem safe.
Well, there's two interesting things to that as well. One, they also blamed the captain of the guard for giving the order, which he looked very pissed off about. Reasonably so, because I don't believe it was him, but that leaves to be determined for sure. The other being that Reed did not look like he was on the up and up about blaming Sam for this. He looked incredibly shocked.
Did you get the sense that that this was like a charade of some kind? Like just a look, we said we're doing this to say that we did it. We don't really care what the answers are. Our decisions are what they're going to be regardless. Like they're not going to inspect the validity of the statements.
Well, I asked them, unfortunately, if they were doing so at the beginning, and they told me they did not, and that it was a possibility that this thing could lie. So,
Then why would they? I get why they would do it to see what it would say, but should not think anything it says it is of value.
It's all hearsay. It's all whatever that specific person or that group of people, because as you said, it could have been any of them saying that, and they would have all given the same responses. I wonder if
I think what they said was a lie, but I do not know if the guard themselves were aware that the lie was going to be said. I think they expected a dead man to answer them. For some reason. It seems
This
really
was a-
unprofessional, but
Set of chess moves, and whoever was playing had one step ahead.
right.
They thought about after death.
Why didn't they ask why they were okay with it if they knew that? I might misunderstand it, but if you make an attack as this, you must expect to die. And they
Well,
all
we
did.
already knew they were magically influenced.
Didn't you say that they were being told that it was for the good of the realm? That's different than magically influenced. That just adds more to the picture of there being some sort of script.
I think the more terrifying thing is they specifically describe Sam with Sildari. stirs the pot a lot harder.
Makes it political.
Yes.
They're warmongering.
Yes.
Just trying to get everyone on board with it.
Has Rylus released the information about our excursion along the countryside?
I don't believe so.
His timeline may have just been moved up.
Who was there? Was it any? I'm assuming. Were there political people there? Was it all members of the Ivory Guard? Was there anyone there that would have any say in what actually happens if regarding movements towards war, or are they?
Well, it was the chief, the deputy chief, a captain, the person in charge of the riflemen, and a cleric with a double axe head symbol. I don't know where they hail from. They might have been a scam the whole time as well. Although the thing came to life, so, I mean, there's that.
Well, let's put a few things out just to keep in mind. If there are individuals that happened, not saying that it did, because we already have loopholes with what the story that they're giving is. But if someone does possess the ability to change form to appear as a very high power of the Drakkar, we need to consider that. Somebody in that room may not have been who they appeared to be.
Yeah.
And if we go to a meeting, we need to have some sort of proof of the individual.
Did they say anything else after the interrogation? Like, I don't know.
They asked if anybody had any questions. I asked mine. Rylus asked his. Which I relay because I don't remember exactly. I'm very tired.
He asked the question about was anyone designated for protection? And that was the last question asked of the corpse.
It kind of ended sooner than I thought. I thought they would have asked the captain of the riflemen, but unfortunately I don't think he's going to last much longer.
They need
There
someone to blame.
And there is magic that exists that could modify or mold memories. And so perhaps he, devil's advocate, perhaps he really did give that order under a charm, and then someone caused him to not remember having given that order. If it was someone that was skilled enough in magic and skilled enough in the goings on of the knowledgeable enough in the goings on of the world to know. I mean, they described, was it Sam specifically, or was it just a Sildarin woman? That could be anyone. I know what the implication is, but it theoretically could be anyone. It was the.
There's the fact that they named the word Sildarin.
That was it. It's the buzzword.
It seemed too convenient with the posters around town to not. And Reed's reaction said it all. So.
They seem so making quite effort to blame you, Sam. Is there a so everyone thinks it's you? Is there a way we could, change the story?
Well, it wasn't just her. They blamed the Drakkar.
Mm-hmm.
And not only the Drakkar, but the Drakkar, again, as I mentioned when I was talking about having met with his daughter, is known for changing his appearance. So it was someone who had to have known that he was going to use that glamour, or whatever he really looks like, during the gala.
Yeah. Maybe it's a favorite of his.
Maybe.
Either way, it was productive and embarrassing on their part, to be completely honest. I imagine a lot of people were fooled, unfortunately.
Because they were told what they wanted to hear.
Yes.
They see it as an open and shut case.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They have the person that they believe responsible. Pin it on him. They have somebody to blame. However, unfortunately, it doesn't tie all the way back.
No.
Having the captain as a person isn't anything unless they also have the two individuals that they are looking to have stuck with the bill.
They are attempting to locate the dry car.
And they're attempting to locate a woman with a Sildarin accent.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this will increase my bounty.
Probably. But
Going for a record?
Now I am.
here's the other problem. If we go to that meeting and we take Sam with us, not that you're not allowed to come with, that puts both of them in the same place.
Which is really bad.
Which is really, really bad.
Perhaps.
And that might honestly, unfortunately, be what people are looking for. Also, when you asked earlier if this is what I feel like all the time, that's true.
Well, we know one thing. That's for certain, at least. Well, I don't know if it's for certain. I think I'm getting what you're saying, Eclipse. If you were to try to send a message to the Drycar Marcus of Illusion, specifically, is it possible that your understanding of who you were introduced to that night as Marcus, and it goes to that individual, or does it go to the actual Drycar of Illusion? Is it who you think it is, or who it actually is?
Well, it would go to the person that I met. Theoretically. I mean, Oof. You wouldn't be a poor example of this. When I send to you as Yasnip, I had cast sending to you, I believe. At least once, no?
First time was recently. And that was a simple message.
We could try it. I could go to the other room and
Well, but you
send to
know,
you.
that's the thing is,
Well,
you
that's
know
what-
both. And if you don't know both,
Well, what if he transforms into a form I don't know of?
it has to be someone that you're familiar with, though.
I think that's the point he's trying to make. If the test is
That would mean that if the person that was at the event was not the Drycar, but introduced themselves as the Drycar, and Faye believes that to be the Drycar, her magic
Yes.
would extend to whom she believes is the Drycar, not
can't-
necessarily
the
is the
paper.
Drycar.
I can't send it with just a name. The paper might be more accurate in this case.
I think we should try the paper. I'd rather not get this wrong.
At least we know the paper goes to the intended person. And Eclipse
could-
never met him, did you?
I mean, I saw him, didn't I?
Let's see.
Here's an idea.
Yes, you did.
We could
God's
send. We could send a message, on paper, and then cast a sending, and immediately request the message
Be read to you.
on the paper to be responded with.
oh, that's a good idea.
Sure.
And if they are one and the same, we would know. And it has to be something funny, like blue chicken feet or something like that. Like just something very strange.
I'll pull out the scroll and I'll place it on the table.
Should it be
Go
like
for it.
a poem that has words that sound similar to each other? You know?
be something like goose, duck, chicken, quack, pow.
I'll just have him read it back to you.
The big black bug, blood, black blood, blood. The other black bug, blood, blue.
Ah!
I know common is not your native tongue, Brightwing, but that was a stretch.
You do smell toast right now.
You do not
I
know.
smell the bacon.
That
pancakes
is a children's poem back where I'm from.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Something like that.
Every good boy does fine.
I think
That or Sam's children? Keeping the questions of the difficult variety, at least.
I
feel
could get
it's
the
really urgent.
set up right now.
I'm going to say something you're not going to like, Sam. You can't help your children if you're in prison. As hard as it is, I think we have to try to clear your name first. And whether that means not knowing, or knowing and being able to control it for the status of your children, only you can decide that.
I could ask other questions instead if knowing would temper with what Naz is saying. I agree.
Just need to know if they're safe.
I could do this cry then.
Yeah.
We shall ask questions tomorrow. I'll take out the rock
Okay.
and get into where the light touches it in the right way that all the colors reflect and it shines off, and it kind of crystallizes when you touch, crystal, where it bounces off the room. You know what I mean? It touches,
Yep.
the light touches right. It does that, and so you all kind of get hit with that, and she casts sending, and those lights get brighter, and her eyes glow as she starts to look into the crystal.
Scry.
Scry.
Yeah.
Scry.
Sending.
Okay. The colors turn into like this fractal that fills your whole vision, that all then turn to colored mist, and then that mist begins to peel back. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Oh, no.
In
Keep
session
going.
72.
No. No.
It's 9:04. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It's time.
Yeah.
Time.
All right. That was a session. Goodness gracious.
That was heavy.
Okay, favorite moments before we sign off?
Us identifying the sending stones after having them for like a year, and then finding out.
Month or two in game.
That's so funny.
The network. I
Really high
enjoyed
check. That was
Eclipse's haughty
That was
walk
a really
back.
nice one.
good. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that was in-game
Mm.
moment. That was best.
Mhm.
Girls
That was
walk
so
like
good.
me.
that one moment of like, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck those
you're
guys.
stupid.
Every once in a while, Eclipse drops some sass on some people,
Yeah.
and they get clapped.
Oh, I can do that on command. What?
What?
Out of game, and unfortunately it's not going to be documented because of the way that I do the cameras. Anneka's response to the entire thing, where she's like rolling around on the ground in the background, flipping off the camera, but nobody else is going to ever be able to see it again because it was only on Matt and Eclipse's fill-in.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Oh man.
So if you want
Valid.
to see those live reactions, you need to be in the Discord to check it out.
True.
No. Dude, fucking- I'm
Bro.
so mad.
This
I'm
conspiracy
so
goes
mad.
so deep that they prepared the corpses to say a story.
They hate me.
That is
Why?
insane. That is so crazy.
Oh my god. I'm so fucked. I didn't think it could get worse.
No.
I mean, what if? I mean, I was kind of hinting as a right wing earlier, but this is more Leah speaking. Like, what if like Eclipse was told you can't release this information? Well, what if we release different information that says, like, puts Sildari in a good light instead of a bad light?
I need to finish saying what I found in Furious here, and I can fucking explain to you guys a bit more.
Post it. Put it on a post-it. Don't forget about it.
Because I was looking at the notes the whole time, and I'm like, is this going to become relevant for me to all bring up at once? I should have just done it, but we'll have to wait until next week.
Tune in next week.
Tune in
Tune
next
in
week.
next
to find
week.
out.
Next week.
To
Find out
watch
who's
the
maybe-
losing their
rest of-
mind
maybe-
first.
Well, maybe I'm in that mindset because I'm writing a game about spreading rumors
True.
and stuff like that. So I feel like that's why.
Hey, lady, whistle down.
Yes, exactly. We need to put a different story out there, and so people have two conflicting things of what they believe in. Because right now, I don't think the
Nice.
Ivory Guard looks in a good light right now. If it comes from the Ivory Guard, everyone's gonna be like, "Well, you kind of dropped the ball." So
Uh-huh.
But how public is the fact that they dropped the ball?
Exactly. This was a private event. And the people who were at
Unfortunately,
the event
the-
already know what they believe.
The most reputable person that we have that could spread a information / perceived as disinformation / is actually information campaign is Faye.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But
she's
Faye-
the only one that has any rapport out of any of us.
But also, Faye saved all those people's lives. They saw what we did. If we were like, hey, talk to all those important people again, and be like, those stupid
They-
Ivory Guard dropped the ball. Like, what are we gonna...
They'd call bullshit immediately. To get it
I
out,
don't
you
know
have
if
to
I
get it out
would.
to the people that are not there. You have to get it out to the people that are in the crowd. The populace, not the individuals that were involved. Because the individuals that were involved know what they saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they know what they saw that the Ivory Guard wasn't there. I think they'd be pretty mad that they're trying
But
to.
you need to essentially give them the confidence to be able to endorse this idea. Right now, if they say that, it's going to look really bad for them. Because right now, one of them is the one that's under guise. But yeah.
I am going to stop the conversation there, largely because there's probably a good time for a talking Aanthara in the next couple weeks, I would say. So we'll take this and postpone it to there. Obviously, we can talk more offline as well.
We
but-
need to have like a virtual
Pepe
string
board?
theory board. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
All
access to that. Obsidian. We can
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
that's right. Didn't you
Yeah.
make one?
I
Or
made
was that
one.
something else?
Is
Okay.
it a shared one that you can share?
I can share it, I believe.
All right.
I'll have to see. It's out of date. It was the last one was updated like
Yeah, it was a long time.
It was a
ago.
long time ago.
Okie dokie. Well, we will pick up there at the opening of a scry in session 72. And whatever comes after that.
Oh boy.
Adios.